Previously on Dark Heresy.
That was a combination. Well done.
Like it.
Most of this is for the benefit of Johnny, who wasn't here for the last session. Gaius received a message from Canny, passed through Otto as an intermediary. It spoke of a body found on the edge of King Sanchez's territory, the body of an Arbite, found by junior members of the Brotherhood who had witnessed what could only be described as a dark ritual being performed on the naked, bound man of the law. Gaius headed to the location, taking with him Corell, Esther, and a new companion, Greta Pussysoft. Pause for Johnny. Greta, a sanctioned psyker, was mistrusted by the others in Precinct 686 due to her nature and the fact that Arbites generally hunted her kind rather than working with them. But Drummond had asked Gaius to show her the ropes and lead by example, showing the others she could be trusted. Gaius is garnering a strong reputation in the precinct. The others respect him. He has a habit of always getting his man, although he does keep them sort of hanging around to stew in the cells for rather a long time. The body was found in pretty much the condition that Canny had reported, burned to a crisp. This, Gaius knew, was Canny's doing, after recognising some of the markings carved into this man as being similar to those seen on Speyer. Canny had taken precautions, perhaps destroying some of the evidence of what occurred here, but still, better to be safe than sorry. Esther took some DNA samples. Inspecting the corpse, she realised that the man had taken a bolt round to the chest at point-blank range. This tied up with what Canny had said the Juves had seen, ritual cutting, blood smeared on the bolt pistol, the same weapon turned on the bound man. This reeked of ritual, Esther suggested. Blood, said Greta, was often used in occult practices of binding or summoning. There were tracks, but they were muddled and difficult to follow. They seemed to end in the middle of nowhere with no sign of a vehicle. Who had done this, and how had they fled the area with no trace? How had they isolated a member of the hallowed Adeptus Arbites? The body was gathered up and returned to Precinct 686 for a full autopsy, and Drummond told you there had been 8 Arbites reported missing over the last few days, simply vanishing from their bunks. 3 bodies had already been found, and Eli Ye, the man you have found, made 4. Gaius had a moment of inspiration, plotting the locations of the bodies on a map of Decilium. There were 64 floors between the bodies. 64. 8 times 8. And 8 sectors between the bodies, too. Gaius told Drummond he suspected there may be further bodies to be found in locations he marked upon the map. Drummond nodded, understanding what Gaius was getting at. Greta seemed surprised that Gaius would know of what he called the Eightfold Path. He, of course, has seen similar things on 47 Capella, he said. Where? Where is that? Asked Greta. Gaius brushed this comment off. A slip. False identities are little more than lies, and Gaius Mortalis, oh so pure Gaius Mortalis, does not lie easily. Esther performed the autopsy. It seemed the man's heart had been removed prior to receiving the bolt round to his chest, but amazingly, Esther didn't think his heart being torn out is what had killed him. It was definitely the bolt shell from his own pistol, smeared with his own blood. As this man who had been witnessed, dressed in robes, held his beating heart in his hands. The results of the autopsy were identical to that of the other 3 victims already found, save for 1 or 2 details. The body Canny found had been burned. Of course, Gaius knew it was Canny who had wisely done this. But there were other details that differed too. Part of the victim's leg, his calf, had been hacked away by a sharp, heavy blade. A cleaver, perhaps, suggested Esther. And the other victims had been found with their armour, equipment and spare bolt rounds dumped nearby. But the body you found had no equipment with it. An important detail that should not be overlooked, suggested Esther. But Gaius overlooked it. He knew there was no real mystery there. Strange, thought Esther. A report of another body came in, the same conditions. Drummond had sent teams out at Gaius's instruction. Gaius had figured out the pattern, but what of the connection? The Arbites searched the datasphere for a link between these dead Arbites. Each came from a different precinct. He couldn't find a connection. Another body turned up. Esther realised the time of death of these Arbites was 8 hours between each. 8 times 8 floors, 8 sectors, 8 hours. 6 victims. A theory was formed, and if true, one of the Arbites might still be alive. You gathered your weapons and headed down to the lowest point Gaius had marked on the map, where the last body could perhaps be found. But if you were quick enough, you could maybe save the life of the last victim. As you travelled to this location, a 7th body was found by another team. And you arrived in this shithole dumping ground and searched around for a couple of hours. Greta closed her eyes and focused her powers. You saw her eyes glow with power, an almost holy light. This was beyond simple psychic phenomenon. This was the Emperor's will manifesting. And Greta pointed, calling out a name. Jock Thaderton. You rushed in the direction Greta indicated, and saw at a distance a man carving into the flesh of another who was bound to a support strut, naked. He saw you coming, this man with a knife, and fled. Gaius, pause for funny.
Shouldn't have done that.
Oh dear. Gaius, he saw you arriving.
Just an unfortunate combination of words there, Dave. Sorry.
He saw you arrive. The man with the knife fled. Gaius snapped off a shot, wounding the man.
Quickly snap one off.
Okay.
His catchphrase is, sorry, continue.
I'm going to raise the stakes. The man took his dagger, cutting a gash in the air, tearing open a doorway, which he plunged deeper inside, into a realm of fire and blood. He stepped through and vanished. The last victim was safe, but he was not yet out of the woods. Esther stabilised him, but he was still unconscious, and you left him in the care of the other Arbites as Drummond voxed in. He had found the connection. These victims, these Arbites, had not always been Arbites. 15 years ago, they had been sanctuaries under the command of one Sergeant Gormine, who was now Lieutenant Gormine, the commanding officer of Guard Post 414 Beta 30, the sector right at the heart of the 8-pointed star Gaius had plotted on the map, smack in the middle of the 8 victims. Gaius led his team to the guard post and met Lieutenant Gormine, stopping to have a quick shit on the way, which seemed very important to Gaius Mortalis. Gormine and the other sanctuaries, how fitting! Gormine and the other sanctuaries were respectful towards Gaius. Clearly, they thought highly of such people.
As tested the facilities, making sure they're Emperor ready.
Gave them a 5-star rating for their toilets.
Yeah.
The lieutenant told you she had indeed known these victims. She had led them and trained them. She had a reputation for forming squads of men and women with wills of iron, who suffered no weakness nor corruption. And many of those she trained went on to become high-ranking officers or Arbites themselves, as these men had. She had been offered a similar promotion, but had turned it down, preferring to stay as a sanctuary. It was in her blood, she said. And over the years, she was raised to the rank of lieutenant. She would not speak of the mission which had earned herself and her squad promotion. Operational security, she said. Gaius dismissed Esther, Corell, and Greta and revealed his symbol of the Holy Ordos. Lieutenant Gormine did not seem surprised or shocked, and she told him of the mission, how she and her team had hunted down and eradicated an organ harvesting ring, led, they believed, by wealthy members from the upper spires. They had been unable to get to those at the top, protected as they were by wealth and power, and so they started at the bottom, dismantling the organisation one piece at a time. They had raided a huge facility, finding hundreds of dead, missing their organs, and a vicious firefight broke out there between the criminal scum fleeing into the streets and the sanctuaries. There had been much collateral damage as the battle spilled over into hab blocks. And then, in the aftermath, a man had come. He was the one responsible for raising these men and women to the position of Arbites, and he had offered Gormine a job too, but she had turned it down. The man, tall, shaven-headed, with an Aquila brand on his brow, had shown her his badge of office, and she knew what it meant. No, she had told him, I have no stomach for that sort of work. Lystug? Asked Gaius. Lieutenant Gormine simply nodded. The lieutenant received a Vox message. A man had arrived and wished to make a confession, but would only make the confession to Gormine. It was the killer, here. He had been found with his oath cog and fragments of human hearts in his pocket, and his name was Jock Thaderton. He was a data adept, with a long history of service who had spent years climbing the ranks. He had recently earned a promotion which had granted him access to sections of the Administratum's Forbidden Vault, where sensitive data and evidence of heresy collected by the Arbites was stored. He had once lived in the region where Gormine and her squad had purged the organ trade. He laughed as you interrogated him. She was only 7 years old, he said. His daughter had died in the crossfire. Revenge. This was just simply about revenge. He had spent a decade and a half earning a position of trust and privilege, and waited. He had stolen information, foul, heretical knowledge on how to perform a ritual. And he stole a knife. But you had prevented the final step of his ritual. But it did not stop what happened next. Around the guard post, the boom of bolt shells being fired could heard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 in total. 1 for each victim. One shot came from the sanctuary in the interrogation chamber with you. He blew off his own head with a bolt pistol smeared in blood, a pistol taken from one of the Arbites, and something tore through from his body, out of the foul place known as the Empyrean, and into reality. See you real soon, Gaius Mortalis, said Jock, as Gaius smashed his head to pieces with his mace. There were 7.
It's a demon prince.
There were 7 lesser demons in the guard post. Corell had been quiet, disturbed by everything he saw today, but he reacted quickly and without fear and began blasting with his shotgun. Esther and Greta, although shaken at first at the sight of these foul creatures, quickly began to rack up kills, Greta saving the life of at least 2 sanctuaries with her powers. At the sight of these incorruptible heroes of the Imperium, the remaining sanctuaries rallied behind them, joining Gaius and the others in slaughtering the unholy abominations. But what would have happened, you wonder, had you not found the 8th man in time, if the ritual had been completed?
Bad things.
Yeah. Mission complete.
Gaius is now on the scoreboard for power play. Vernetta, Titulos, Otto, and Vernetta. Titulos isn't here, never mind. Yesterday, you went to steal a truck. You were successful. You made some money selling it. But after heading up Hive and securing food for the mansion, you were attacked by Pressure Point, ambushed. Vernetta later realized the truck, the first one you had taken at Gladstock's orders, had been fitted with a tracker, and now you have no truck, and only a fraction of the food that you bought. You return to the mansion in 2 stolen ground cars, which now sit several levels above in the carnival, in the dark, run down, abandoned, well, mostly abandoned region where the lower hive meets the underhive. Dr. Pench has healed your wounds as best he can. Mr. Gladstock has chastised you for not telling him of your plans. He seems protective, concerned for your well-being. It's sometimes hard to remember that, despite his appearance, his mannerisms, he's actually a pretty decent guy. Most of the time.
Bullshit.
Drantia joined you for breakfast before heading off into the carnival to continue her training with Agatha. And you each spent the day going about your various business. Ferinus mostly watching porn, resting like Dr. Pension told him to. Vernetta worked on rebuilding the gloves she had made for spring, and Otto, after Gladstock suggested you all lay low for a few days, headed up Hive to the Administratum to learn more about Pressure Point, the mercenary group. Meanwhile, further up Hive, Siegfried, after almost 3 weeks of hobnobbing with these people, finally got to put his skills to use. Serena and Plex came with you, and you travelled to an old disused mine, one gifted to a lord of House Pagny. While wearing the polymask to appear as this lord's brother, you killed him, and his household guards, and his bodyguards, and a psyker of some sort, perhaps a companion or advisor, who knows, who cares, they're all dead. And while you dealt death, the thing that you do best, Trantia and Jerry saw to it that Lord Emil Farr would have no memory nor alibi for the time of his brother's death. And there were countless witnesses at the party who had heard him complaining and bitching about his father's favouritism towards his younger brother. You returned to Lady Pagny and informed her of her success. She reacted with indifference. Lady Pagny has no love for killing, plotting and scheming, but she has less love for her family, and especially for her father, the current head of House Eldon. Imagine how she would feel if she knew the truth of what he had done to Alyssa. 2 more of Lady Pagny's family are now out of the running for leadership. Lord Barris also died at your hands a few weeks earlier after kidnapping Serena, and you've heard rumours that Lord Barris's son has been found in possession of prescribed items over the last few days. This was not your doing. Serena, whilst captured by Lord Barris, had overheard interesting details about the Lord's son's private life, and that information has found its way into the right hands. As it turns out, you and Serena are not the only person in Lady Pagny's company who are working towards your goal. Plex has been keeping watch over certain members of the family who he believes could be exploited. Jerry has been following people. Jerry has seen things. One of Lady Pagny's stepsisters has been caught in a compromising position with a mutant of many appendages. Lady Pagny has anonymously revealed to her stepsister the existence of hollow footage proving this. But Lady Pagny will not make this public, nor show her father, as long as her stepsister formally steps down from her position as head of a major fabrication plant. 3 weeks. Lady Pagny has gone from 53rd in line to 45th in 3 short weeks. Lady Pagny is pleased. Inquisitor Mesmeron would be pleased too if she were here, but she is not. She is somewhere else. In the warp, bound for Scintilla, and Siegfried has not had strange dreams for 3 weeks. He has not dreamt of the strange humped-backed woman who appears to be physically merged with a young boy, nor has he dreamed of his father, nor of the thing he saw in the barn when he was oh so very young. And Siegfried has satiated his bloodlust. Siegfried is doing all right. No urges, no dreams, not one since he left the mansion, since the Inquisitor left.
Back on track.
Trantia seems happier too. She's spent much time with Agatha, the fortune teller of the carnival, and she told Siegfried how she was bored and restless and eager to continue her training that Mesmeron promised but never delivered. It transpired that Trantia and Agatha knew each other, both members of the so-called blighted Scolum, an illegal heretical mirror to the Scholar Progenium. Of course, the real Scholar Progenium does not train psychers. Strange, then, that Serena claims to be from the Scholar Progenium herself. Last night, Siegfried, when you returned from your mission to the mine, Trantia was waiting for you. She smiled as you approached, her face changing quickly to one of concern when she saw your wounds. "You're hurt," she exclaimed. "Throne, damn the Inquisitor. If she had been more forthcoming sooner, I could have helped you." And you could feel emotion and anger radiating from Trantia, and it felt exhilarating.
Oh, yes.
She
That's
looked
what
down at her hands, enveloped in delicate gloves that matched the colour of her dress as always. And she looked frustrated for a moment, but then she smiled and said, "I'm glad you're back, safe, Siegfried." And then she turned away, heading off to bed. But in that moment, as she turned, you found your eyes drawn to the scar on her shoulder, the faint discoloration of skin, shaped like a crescent moon. Has she applied some sort of cosmetic to it? It looks a little fainter. She glanced back briefly as she left, the corner of her mouth twitching into a smile as she saw you watching her go. She flicked absently at a strand of stray hair, and in that moment, in the brief moment when your eyes met, you saw the reflection of flickering flames from the open fire in the corner of the room. But the fire was not lit. Can you smell burning?
Toast!
He's having a stroke!
It's definitely toast.
And Gaius, in the aftermath of the battle for Guard Post 414 Base 30, more members of the Arbites turn up for cleanup, but they are not from Precinct 686, and their uniforms and armour look slightly different. A man in a very high-ranking uniform approaches you, takes your statements, thanks you for your service, and orders you to return to Drummond in Port Gaia. You bid your farewells with Lieutenant Gormine, and she thanks you and your companions for saving her life and the lives of her people, and for preventing what would have been a much worse situation, and you leave the guard post. You leave the remaining 8 sanctuaries and their lieutenant behind with the squad of Arbites. And as the 4 of you stride from the guard post, you hear the boom of bolt gun fire from inside the building. 9 shots in total.
Once again.
Cleanse and purify. No witnesses. No survivors. A demonic incursion took place here, and the existence of such things, such threats from beyond the veil, cannot be allowed to become public knowledge. A shame. Lieutenant Gormine was a good woman.
A little
Back
sad
at this-
face goes on Gaius' face as he walks back.
You saved them! They're dead.
Oh,
Back
life in the Imperium.
Yep. Back at the 686, you learn that Drummond dispatched a man to the hab cell of Jock Thaderton, and there they found a strangely barren home with the bare minimum of facilities. But plastered across the walls were hard copy printouts and rolls of parchments detailing the names and careers of 9 people. Lieutenant Gormine and the sanctuaries she trained, those that had become Arbites, those that Jock had killed, sacrificed to the dark powers, but of course not all of them. Thanks to you, Gaius, there was one survivor.
It's probably taken away for questioning his beard as well.
End of the day, though, he was an Arbite.
We should recruit him, I reckon. Him.
Definitely.
Scarboy.
He's seen things, man. And he's an Arbite. You know he's already been exposed to shit.
Nobody
was
wants to
other-
get to smells of Gaius.
There was other information here too. Details of dark rituals and knowledge of pacts with things from beyond, how to call on them and bind them to your will. And one such ritual spoke of consuming the hearts of victims, killing them with their own weapons, to bring forth minor creatures of the warp. And if the right number of such creatures could be summoned, they could be infused with the rage of the summoner and a desire for vengeance. and they could be merged into one, becoming a creature of pure hatred and vengeance and wrath. And that creature would obey its summoner and destroy the object of the summoner's revenge. And once that task was complete, it would no longer be bound. It would be free to roam as it pleased. But you prevented this. There was a knife found here too. The knife with which Jock had cut through reality. A foul thing formed from a strange, dark metal. And documents, highly classified research that referred to a blade known as the Soul Razor. The documents were burned. The knife was taken away. Jock Thatterton had spent over a decade working to gain a position of trust to abuse it, to steal documents and materials necessary to carry out ritual murder, to summon a demon. How much hate and rage must that fat man have felt to go to such extremes? Would it not have simply been easier to buy a gun and shoot the lieutenant? But this is Desolium. Little makes sense here. There is always darkness somewhere on this world, waiting, lurking out of sight, seeking to prey on those weak of will. And the knife, the black metal knife, where had he got that? These objects, the Black Orbs, the other objects mentioned in the files Mesmeron is accused of stealing, and now this knife, these black metal objects are seemingly behind the corruption on this world. But where do they come from? The faceless trade, Gaius Mortalis believes. It has to be them. But they are like ghosts. Canny has spent the last few days working with King Sanchez. Working within King Sanchez's organisation. He's been learning how to cook in more ways than one. And yesterday, he gained some interesting information that he passed on to Gaius via Otto. But what else, Canny? What else did you get up to on that day? Okay, so at this point, we are still in power play mode for Canny. So you've got best part of a day to let me know what you want to do.
So am I behind the rest of the timeline at the minute, Dave? Is that?
Ever so slightly, yes. Only a day.
Okay, so I'll probably do my standard affair, which is just to grind out a bit of rep on the low risk version. Oh no, I'll do the high risk version where I've got fate point, and then that's it. So where are we?
All right. So you can do Carouse, Charm, Deceive, or Intimidate.
Okay, have I overdone any of these? I forget.
Let me have a look. No, definitely not.
Okay, I'll go for Intimidate. Is it straight test?
I'm just checking. You get a +10.
Okay, 2 degrees of success.
Nice. And then you also get to choose Awareness, Inquiry, Interrogation, or Scrutiny.
Okay, I'll go for awareness.
You've not really done enough high risk for any of them to be pushing it, so.
And I'll re-roll that one, Dave.
All right.
Fuck's sake, every time, Dave.
Just fail.
No, it's 3 degrees of failure. So every time I try and get any rep with King Sanchez, I always piss him off for some reason.
You're trying too hard. You're trying too hard.
He just thinks I'm a fucking savage.
It's because you use awareness. It's because using awareness, you're basically hanging around the club staring at people. And he's like, this guy's fucking weird.
You actually try say out. So what else have we got? Awareness, interrogation. Oh, maybe interrogation's the way to go. You've taught me into it.
Okay, so that's the rest of day 21 for power play. And on that note, I'm going to do a little change to the main screen here. Oops.
Ooh. Let's give us a sec, Dave. I'm just going to get a drink. Be right back.
Okay. Session 50, guys. Happy half century. We shall celebrate. We shall celebrate with heresy cake.
Heresy cake? I dare not eat it. Full of nightmares. Heresy.
Too sweet.
Yeah. Unless it's made out from lice stuff, and then I'm sure we can trust it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's probably made out of reconstituted guardsmen. So
Probably made out of mesmeron.
maybe
Well,
yeah,
it's gone into cake.
mesmeron jelly. So,
Oh no! Qui got to her before we could save her.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Otto, could you make an intelligence test, please, at -30?
oh god, I don't want that. Otto. Is he on there? Is he on my thing? Otto.
Excuse me.
He is
Is
on
he
your
on my-
thing, Johnny.
Ah, yeah. I've got a picture of him, but his stats and stuff haven't come up yet.
Because you're looking in the wrong bit. You're not looking in the character sheet bit, maybe. You're looking in the NPC portraits, are you, or something?
Yeah. Like I'm looking at those bits, yeah, but he's not. Yeah, it's just got Intel. It starts off with Intel, and then I've only got Siegfried. I've only got Siegfried in there at the minute.
Yeah, you're looking in the wrong section. You need to be looking under NPC agents, not NPC portraits.
Oh, right, okay. NPC.
Oh, wait a sec. No, my bad. I haven't actually given you the character sheet. I've turned it off for some reason.
That's what I mean. Sorry.
Why would I do that?
Because you're a git.
Yep. That is 100% truth.
No, I've only invested that. It was just, because...
That's weird. I don't know what. In fact, they're all off, I think. It's fairness. Trying to.
I've got
the rest of
Siegfried
them.
on there, but not anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. It should be there now, Johnny.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Appreciate your
Just
effort.
assumed Johnny was doing something wrong, didn't you?
You did.
Yeah. Well, it's usually the case, isn't it? It's technophobe Johnny.
Hey, I resemble that remark. Okay, so...
Like Alan says, there's something really amusing about Johnny playing a tech priest in his campaign.
I know, yeah. I'll see if I can do it. Probably not.
No.
Didn't
Okay. All right.
fail there. Not have my recap out my special flask yet.
It's because it's not made yet.
Speaking of which, is that I'm just going to come into Vernetta. I was like, Vernetta, I was just mulling over my morning cup of recap, and I realised that flask isn't ready yet. Are you going to light a fire under it for me?
I'm going to turn my comms off.
He's just going to be like, oh, cog bitch. She'll never hear me because she turned the comms off.
All right.
He's just going to go back to his data place.
Okay, so day 22 of Power Play. We've already done the plebs for this, I believe. Yeah. All right. Siegfried, Power Play.
Yeah.
You don't have any operations or missions prepared.
Okay.
So
I'm going to go for I'll just go for high risk.
Okay, so first of all, charm, deceive, inquiry, or scrutiny, and you get a +5.
Okay, charm, deceive, or scrutiny. Scrutiny is my worst one, so I'll go for charm first of all,
Okie dokie.
and +5. I'm gonna five. To get back onto that one. Submit. Yay!
Nice. And then concealment. Sorry, awareness, concealment, shadowing, or disguise.
I'll go for awareness.
Okay.
With a +5. Oh. Yep.
What you got?
2.3 degrees of success.
Excellent. Let me just check, see if that's done much. No, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, working towards your next operation. That's day 22. Gaius Mortalis. What would you like to do power play wise with your day 22?
High risk.
High risk.
Gamble.
All right.
Gamble and win.
Okay, I've just got to
Okay.
Right, put this
Inquiry, awareness, command, or scrutiny with a +10.
on. Inquiry. With a +10, yeah.
Yeah. What we got?
That's good.
Yeah,
4.5 degrees of
excellent.
success.
And then tech use, forbidden law, cults, interrogation, or scrutiny. And you get a +10 for this as well.
Impressive.
Scrutiny's at 41, so I'll go for that with a +10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
High risk.
Ooh. You have now unlocked your second operation, which you would be able to do on your next day of power play. And then finally, day 22, Canny. What would you like to do?
I've already used my fate points, so I'm going to go down to the low risk.
Okay.
And what's that involved in? Let's have a look.
So that involves, if I remember right, or if I just look at my notes, which would be easier, that involves something that's pretty easy. So
Yeah, fellowship, right?
fellowship, it's +10 for having peer, and you also get a +10. No, that's not your sheet. Yeah, +10 for your rep, so +20.
That's 2 degrees of failure.
Oh dear. Okay. All right, and then the final thing.
Canny's no good at this smoozing malarkey.
Not yet, anyway. But you are racking up the rep, which is going to make it easier. Vernetta, last time we did a bit of power play with all the NPCs, Vernetta, I only did something like 12 hours for Vernetta, but she can do 18. So she's got 6 hours left that she can use on crafting or whatever she wants.
Yeah, so I need a reminder because I can't remember. I was pretty drunk at the end of the last game. I can't remember where I got up to with what, and also I can't remember where I got up to with like there was those teleport homers because I bodged those. I'm like knackered those as well, if I recall.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need a recap, Dave. So if you want to
Okay. So what I think you were doing, you were modifying. The last thing you were doing was modifying Spring's gloves. You sort of were rebuilding.
I was trying to unfuck her
Yeah.
gloves. There was the boots as well. I was trying to unfuck those as well, wasn't I?
Yeah. I think you decided that you'd leave the gloves as they were. Sorry, the boots as they were, because they weren't particularly terrible, but the gloves had a bit of a negative thing on them, didn't they? That you wanted them to be a bit more intimidating, I think.
I just didn't want them to look embarrassing for Springs.
Yeah. So you've already done a lot of the work to these. You're basically just tweaking them. So let's have a look. You could You could spend the whole 6 hours rebuilding the mesh weave, or you could spend 4 hours to redo the actual bindings and fittings to the gloves.
Sure, I'll use the 6 hours on the gloves then.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is trade armor roll at plus 20, please.
There we go.
Good. All right, so that's a total of 4. Yeah. So yeah, they're looking a lot better. The mesh looks a bit tighter, a bit more uniform. It's less sort of random links that don't quite make sense. All right. That's the end of Power Play 22.
Okay.
I'm just going to grab a beer.
Yeah, I'm doing the same actually. I'm putting together a bridge
Oh, cool.
at the moment.
Men are going to die over that bridge, Johnny.
Mate, hundreds and thousands, mate. Thousands. But yeah, I'm just sort of doing them like because
It's pretty well designed for like.
oh yeah,
if, let's cut stuff. I think it's
yeah,
pretty intricate. I think.
it is. It's decent. Like
Yeah,
you know, honestly,
it's come on a long
I've never
way.
been. It has, yeah. Like the what do you call it? The MDF stuff is brilliant. What do you call it? Honestly, bolt action. I've never been so excited about a war game in my life. It's been a long time since I've felt, you know what I mean? We've all been involved in war.
It's good to get that little when you're bitten again by something. That's really good.
Yeah, it does feel good. Like
It's a rarity these days. So
it is, you know what I mean? Now that we've been through so many wars that we feel nothing.
I'm already dead inside. So
yeah, we're dead inside. So it's nice to actually, you know, go. Oh, actually, I feel a slight stirring in my my soul. I have one still.
Your gaming loins.
In my gaming loins, basically.
Gaming loins.
Gaming loins.
My gaming loins are burning.
They are burning for more battle. But yeah, it's just so cool. I've got my army ready. I've got a rocket launcher, a Nebelwerfer rocket launcher to put together, and I've just I assembled a Stug. You'll probably have seen a few of these all over in your time with Gary.
certainly have. Nicole says,
So I've got a Stug.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi,
Johnny's
Nicole.
showing off his tank. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a tank. Stug.
Is he what? Sorry?
It's nothing compared
He's
to my
not selling
Tiger.
it. No, he's starting a new game. Like it's called Bolt Action.
Yeah, it's World War II. It's very cool.
Nicole was asking whether you were selling it because you said you wanted us to.
No, I'm
Some of your
selling the
stuff
orcs.
out. Yeah. So
Selling
the
the orcs.
orcs that are going to get sold, Collie.
Yeah, they're gonna get sold and replaced by German soldiers probably, or just
Replaced by Germans.
possibly even driving.
The orcs will be replaced by Germans.
Same thing.
Oh yeah,
Hayden's polishing his helm. Well,
Yeah,
that's what he does. He does that daily.
I saw him having a good rub of his horn, yeah.
Well, I mean that's not
Pause for Johnny.
Hey!
that's not noteworthy. Hayden rubbing his horn to a fine sheen.
Well, you know,
It'll drop off.
it's all right. I've already worn away my foreskin.
Alright, don't make it weird.
Too late.
That's not too worried.
It was weird from the start.
I'm good with that. Don't worry, lads.
Yeah.
Right, I think I've nearly got all my kit packed.
Okay, right. Somewhere in Hive Desolium.
Somebody is having a toffee crisp.
That's the sound of a man intensely eating a toffee crisp.
It's one of those guys in the landing platforms, Death by Sacred Thruster, Holy Thruster launch.
What's your last request for a meal? Toffee crisp. Very well, we will honour it.
Oh,
Extra
you gotta get
melty.
them on terror. Ah. Exactly. At which time I will formulate my escape plan. Oh, I hear music.
I'm a fish. Made that with the kids. Squish a fish.
Very good.
So that's some fine craftsmanship, hey?
I know, I've got
What's
trillion
that?
troops. No!
Okay.
Rise, our demon.
What's occurring?
Johnny, I think you've lost the inhaler.
What? Why?
No, it's not heavy breathing
What
down
do
the
you mean,
back.
what's going on?
What's happening? It's just everything's gone quiet. What's going on? Am I supposed to be doing something?
I didn't hear anything, Johnny.
Okay.
Timestamp 242.816.M41, or more commonly 8 a.m. 30th of March, the year 40,816. It has been almost 11 years since Antonia Mesmeron left Decilium with Seraph after making a promise to return for Canny. It has been 4 years since Gaius Mortalis was placed by Inquisitor Lystug into the Dramard district. 263 days since Siegfried left Granithor after avoiding his execution, and another 200 days since he left Iacanthos. It has been 97 days since you left Scintilla, and 37 days since you arrived on Decilium. It has been 22 days since Inquisitor Mesmeron left the mansion, and in that time you have each pursued your agendas. You have operated alone. You have split the party. You have been apart from one another. Until now. Vernetta, it's a new day. After your specially prepared breakfast, you head back to the workshop, ready to begin another day's work. In the corner of the workshop, you see the Auspex servo skull hovering in the corner of the room, its red eye pulsing softly. It returns from its task almost 3 days ago, and it sits there now, patiently waiting for you.
Heads!
You don't have to do anything.
Okay. I will do what I don't have to do, and that's I'll interface with the Auspex and see what it's saying.
It has many, many hours of recording footage of its flight to the mountain and back. And you watch this video feed back. It's hours and hours of flight of nothing interesting. You skip through it all at high speed. But then at around the 50-hour mark, you see the vast, wide mountain appear on the horizon. And it's not part of a larger mountain chain. It's just a single mountain out on its own, isolated in the middle of the wasteland. Make an intelligence test, please.
1 degree of success.
There's something odd about this mountain. It's very wide, flat, and singular. The servo skull moves closer to the mountain and begins to sweep the area, scanning as it goes with its auspex. The mountain is a single plateau, standing about 3 kilometers above the barren surface of Decilium. It doesn't take you long to realize that it has been made this way. This is not a naturally occurring geological formation, and it's been flattened, almost like it's been planed off. And on the top of it, there are a trio of medium-sized landing pads, large enough to berth small craft, like shuttles or small transports. And one of the pads is large enough for a medium-sized orbital cargo hauler. But all 3 are currently empty, and a fine layer of dust covers each pad, suggesting they haven't been used in days or weeks or months, who can tell. Decilium is a dusty, dry and arid world. Piles of sand such as this soon build up. There's also a few prefab buildings scattered around this plateau, and a few minor power signatures that the Auspex picks up here and there, suggesting some sort of power source, and a number of devices running from them. And standing away from all these buildings is a large depression in the ground, with some sort of metallic framework that juts up out of it, a couple of dozen meters high. It looks man-made, and as the Auspex sweeps closer, you realise what you're looking at. The foundations and scaffolding work for a construction project of some kind, but it looks abandoned. Make an awareness test with the +20, please, for the Auspex.
Good.
Fail.
The skull finishes its sweep and heads back towards the hive. And as it begins its return journey, you catch a glimpse of something further down the mountainside, on the side opposite Hive Decilium. A glint of what looks like a metal door, a very large metal door, on a second plateau about halfway down this mountain. You watch as the next 40 hours or so play back once more at high speed as the Auspex skull returns to Hive Decilium and finds its way back through the carnival, through the shantytown, and back into the mansion, and returns once more to the workshop. Vernetta, says a voice in your head. I've found something. Well, your algorithm has found something, embedded in the new spheric data fields. A request for assistance from one Sanctuary Captain Nils, transmitted to her commanding officers. Captain Nils has invoked Protocol 15433 Gamma. I have taken the liberty of diverting the message, forwarding on to Agent Mortalis and Justicar Drummond, circumventing both Sanctuary and Arbeit's command. Would you like to see the message, Vernetta?
Yes, of course.
Meanwhile, at ground level, on the outer edge of Hive Decilium, Gaius, the Arbeit's precinct is, as usual, a hive of activity. Dozens of heavily armed men and women stand in the central briefing chamber. Your colleagues, those that you have grown to know and work beside over the last couple of weeks. And around them, servitors, cherubs, and non-frontline staff go about their businesses, relaying messages, analysing data feeds, watching holo-picts and surveillance spy eye drone footage. Justicar Drummond stands at the front of the room, his carapace armour gleaming, his bolt pistol strapped to his waist. Arbeits! All other casework is on hold as of now. We are to deploy to Processing District 426 Epsilon immediately. It seems the sanctuaries have allowed a little anti-imperial rebellion to get our hand there. Let's bust some non-believers' heads. Gear up. You have 10 minutes. Assemble in the motor pool.
6A. Let them eat blessed balsam. For the Emperor.
Immediately, all the Arbeits begin moving about, snatching up weapons, gathering gear, and heading towards the armory. Not you, Mortalis, says Drummond. My office, now. Special assignment for you. He turns and marches away towards his office.
I'll jovially whistle while following him, I'm in the Emperor's Match or something. Jovially walk into the office, quite happy. Feel quite fulfilled in my life.
Make an awareness test.
We
But
found
he's
you
going
have
to make him take a whistling test there for a moment.
Yeah. Make a performance roll for your whistling.
I don't see nothing. My whistling's too loud.
You do not.
I could have got a +10 for sight based.
You still have failed.
Isn't whistling
Okay.
hearing based?
Yeah, there was something to see.
All right, I'll take a reroll on my fate point. Is
Okay.
it something to see? Yeah, so I give myself
Yeah.
+10 for my eyeball. My all-seeing eyeball. Ha!
You bump into the door.
Ow!
A door sneaks up on you as you make your way to Justicar Drummond's office.
Heretic! Door frame.
In Justicar
I'll
Drummond's
see you later.
office. In Justicar Drummond's office, he draws the blinds down over his window and reaches under the desk for a moment. You feel a sudden change in air pressure, and the sound of Drummond's voice seems to become muffled as he sits down and begins to speak. Privacy field's on. Have a seat.
And I'll do that. Okay. Sorry.
That's better. I've adjusted it a little. It was maybe a little bit heavy.
Thought it was. So then, Drummond, what is my special mission? Is this one where you booked me into a harem to undergo special investigation work? Only joking. I just haven't had my leg over it in a long time, sir.
Well, if I was you, I'd be very careful about wishing for such things on this next assignment, Gaius.
Oh no! Oh, Drummond. I was only joking.
I've received Emperor Protects. I've received a report marked 15433 Gamma, and the thing is, it's not come through the official channels. I don't really know where it's come from, but there's an accompanying note. It says, "Can Gaius come out to play, please, Mr. Drummond?" I'm assuming it's from your people.
Yeah, it is. As is noticed, we're not exactly your run-of-the-mill people.
Nah, I figured as much.
What did it mention a game, or am I just going to have to guess it all the way? Is that the game, sir?
He hands you a sheet of parchment. Says, "You best read it for yourself."
All right. And can I make a literacy test?
You don't need to. It's just written in low Gothic. It's not written in any particular code or
Super
weirdness.
literacy skills. Got a 49.
Right. I'm not seeing that anyway. But okay,
No,
so this
no, rolled. I meant my skill is 49 for literacy.
all right.
Quite good.
So this
Well,
this
if you come to
report.
write a book, then that might come in handy.
I've only got one guy can write in my whole campaign.
This report that you're about to read is exactly the same report as what Alyssa and her algorithm written by Vernetta have found. So basically, Vernetta and Gaius are reading this simultaneously in different parts of the hive.
Okay.
Date 241816.m41. So it's about 4 or 5 hours old. Location, Sector 430 Beta 8. Designation, the Gallowsway, lower/underhive. Officers in attendance, Sanctuaries Hob Claimant, Rurt Tellin. Author, Bonded Sanctuary Oath Captain Katian Nils. Recipient, Sanctuary High Command, Adeptus Arbeits High Command. 2 of my men, Sanctuaries Claimet and Tellin, left Purity Gate Omega 19 at around midnight last night to commence the start of their shift, having been assigned to a routine patrol of the region known as the Gallowsway. At approximately 02:30, they entered the district known as the Gallowsway and swept the area in the prescribed manner. At around 3:40 a.m., they were approached by a local who they described as seeming fearful. The man explained he had heard gunfire, screaming, strange noises, and felt disorientated and somewhat ill. My officers speculated that perhaps there had been some sort of chemical or biological weapon used in whatever violence had occurred. Unfortunately, it transpires that this is not the case. Officers Claymet and Helen responded, following the man back to the location in which he had heard the commotion, a region known as the Mortuarius Factorums. The man indicated Charnel House 17 as the source of the violence he heard. Officer Claymet and Tellin cautiously approached, encountering no resistance. What they did find, however, was a massacre. Dozens of bodies found within the charnel house. Obviously, this is to be expected in such a facility. However, these bodies were recently deceased and not simply being stored here awaiting processing, and showed signs of violence as the cause of death. Officer Claymet states he believed he had stumbled upon the aftermath of some sort of turf war and began to search the corpses for gang tags or oath cogs. And during this particular search, Claymet noticed a strange pendant around one man's neck. He touched this pendant and immediately began to feel ill. He claims the pendant felt prickly and cold to the touch. Claymet was overcome with nausea. Officer Tellin had the good sense to avoid touching the pendant and contacted the Purity Gate, whereupon I dispatched myself with my team. Sirs, in accordance with Special Instruction Gamma 154133, I formally request assistance under the belief that this is not a gang-related issue, but a potential moral threat. I have secured the area with my team and await further instruction.
Well, this sounds quite dire, sir. I must be on my way.
It is, after all, Gaius, our sacred duty to investigate such things with all the resources at our disposal. It appears that High Command have been circumvented. They know nothing of it. And seeing as how our boys are all pretty tied up here, conveniently, I guess it's over to you and your people. If any of our people ask, you've been seconded on a special investigation in response to the bombing of the 412th. You best get going, Gaius. Good luck.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back in the mansion.
Bye, Drummond. Sorry.
Okay, so you're gathering your shit and heading back?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to assume you take everything with you and you can sort out your inventory later on.
Okay.
Vernetta, what are you doing?
I shall relay the information that I've discovered from the Auspex scan to Gladstock in the first instance.
Yep. Okay.
I think I was on something here. I think it's definitely worth further investigation. Perhaps we should put a team together, Gladstock.
Certainly looks that way, Miss Calamere. Good work. Do you have anyone in mind in particular?
Well, I've been forming quite a close-knit kind of camaraderie with some of my allies in the recent, heist. I mean, you know it was a heist, but our recent operations have been really working well as a group. So
Yes.
I would keep to my usual suspects.
Very good. Well, if there's anything you need from me, any assistance, if you would like me to arrange transport to this mountain, that can be done.
Yes, please. Look into it.
I will. I'll need a couple of hours to make the arrangements and payment.
Yeah, I'm gonna pointedly ignore the difficulties that he's having. I'm gonna say, oh great. What time is it, by the way, Dave?
It's probably quite early morning now. It's probably about 9 o'clock, something like that.
Okay. I'd say, would you take breakfast with me, Gladstone?
I've already eaten this morning.
Okay. Never mind. It was just a formal courtesy, but I'm. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll go back to my workshop. I'm ever so busy. I have a flask to make.
A flask. That sounds very important.
Yes. Doesn't it just?
Okay.
Yes, it's vital for the Emperor's work. Vital.
9.
Saves lives.
Flasks
Recap.
saves some
5.
lives. It's true.
All right.
You'll be all the rage back in the administrator.
Okay, so you're heading back to the workshop.
Uh-huh.
What are you up to?
Gonna continue unfucking spring stuff.
Okie dokie. So next we have where do we get to? You could blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you finished the redesign.
Okay.
Oh, what's happening?
I don't know. I think Johnny's logging in and out at the same time, I think. I've just got green squares for Johnny. I don't know. What about you?
Like,
All right, no, I'm all right, thanks.
great.
So you've got 4 hours you can work on. It'll take you about 4 hours to work on the fittings for the gloves, or you can do a little bit more work on finishing the armor off itself, which would take 6 hours.
Yeah, and what was the situation with the teleport homers? Because I'm still not clear in my head as to...
They're both slightly damaged.
Okay, so there's two teleport homers that need repair. And
Yeah.
what vehicles did we leave outside in the...
The 2 ground cars that you...
Oh, they've already been stripped down for anything of value, I'm sure. But I might...
You do have...
work.
Also, the other vehicle you do have is Mesmeron's kind of stretched limo ground car,
Yeah, but
which
you
is
know,
in the workshop.
we stole those ground cars fair and square. It'd be a shame not to actually steal them properly, but to let someone else steal them. So I'm going to maybe work on a teleport home and see if I can repair one.
Right. Okay, so this is... Have you got any other trade skills?
So she has trade, miner, scrimshawer, smith, and wright.
Yeah, so it'd be armourer would be the most applicable. It's not exactly the right one, but it'll do. So you can put a couple of hours into a teleport homer. Be a trade armourer. The difficulty, it's quite a complex device. So let's see. -10 for the difficulty. But you get +20 for the workshop. So +10, please.
Okay, 5 degrees is successful.
Yeah. So you're fairly confident you fix this. You turn it on, you hear a whine as it powers up, and you feel the pulse of power in your hand from it. You've done that. That's
Hey, can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Hey, can I?
Thanks. Yeah, sorry, I just had to switch over because I've been using my phone and I've just had to reinstall it. So reinstall Discord on here because it wasn't working.
Okay.
So.
Cool. I say your camera looks a bit funny at the minute. But maybe it just needs catching up.
Yeah.
Try comms in spring. Dave, could I comms into Spring?
No. This is not allowed.
I can't hear what you're saying. Hang on a sec, Al. All I can hear is Johnny rustling things.
Sorry.
Okay, who you comms into? Sorry, Al.
Spring.
Sure.
I'll ask her to come and see me.
Right. Sure. I'll be right down, V.
Your voice seems like it's gone up an octave on last time we spoke. I don't know.
It's probably the gas I've been sniffing.
Yeah, I've got something for you. You
cool.
come and see me.
On my way. She arrives within a couple of minutes. She more or less bounces as she comes in. Her pupils are fucking massive. She's jittery. She's sweating a little bit. She's got a big grin on her face.
Oh, it's good to see you, Spring.
And you too, V. What are you up to? And she starts like messing about with various tools and bits of equipment, lifting things up, looking at stuff.
Trying to make you some new armor, something that'll keep you safe, but also look really cool. And I can't seem to get it right, so I'm just trying to do that. But in the meantime, I fixed one of these teleport homers. I thought you might want to go off and bring back one of those cars if it's still there. I mean, it's probably not, but maybe you can try.
Right. Cars, yeah.
Remind me, there was two of them, right?
Yeah, there were two of them. Yeah, I can go and bring the one back. I mean, there might only be one back. There might only be one there. Still. I don't know. I ain't nicked one of them.
Have you nicked it? We already nicked it in the first place. Have you nicked it again? Who did you?
No.
Have you sold it to somebody?
No.
That's fine as long as you gave me a little bit.
So
he's not going to say that. That's what's caddy. That's caddy talking. No. That's fine. I don't care about the car, but let's get the other one now. If there's one still there, let's bring that back to the mansion.
Yeah. I could do that. Yeah. Give me.
I'll give her the teleport homer. Does she know how to?
She does know how to attach it.
Yeah,
she has been trained.
Okay.
She's nicked vehicles before.
Cool. Great. Perfect. We'll bring the other one back to the mansion then, and then we can decide what to do with it.
Okay. Spring dashes off with a teleport homer.
She is going to flog it, you do realise.
Well, she's already flogged one. She's going to bring this one back.
All right.
So,
anything else you're up to?
I've still got time to work.
You have at the moment, yeah. Gaius isn't back yet.
I'll continue with the gloves then. Is it gloves? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a 4-hour job, and what was the other one?
A 4-hour job on the fittings and a 6-hour job to rework the actual armor plating in the gloves.
Okay, I'll start on the 4-hour task.
Okay. This would be another plus 20 trade armor roll, please.
3 degrees of success.
Excellent. Yeah, you're quite pleased with these. It's mostly leather straps and a few buckles, things like that. The old ones you weren't very happy with. They were a bit loose. They were too big for spring, so you've chucked them away and started making some new ones. Okay. So that would cover most of the morning. At some point during this as well, Spring does reappear. He says, "All done, Vernetta. All done. It's fitted. It's in place."
Okay. So what happens now? Do I need to do something at this end to bring it? Have we got somewhere to put them, or
you have access to the controls in the workshop?
Uh-huh.
You can also anywhere in the mansion ask Alyssa to do this.
What do you mean? Ask her to
basically activate the teleporter.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll do it myself.
Okay. Give me a tech use test at the plus 10. You do know how to use this.
Best not to become reliant on heretical technology. Two degrees success.
There's a blast of displaced air and suddenly this ground car looks a bit like a kind of futuristic hot rod with a big air intake sticking out of the bonnet appears in the workshop. It looks pretty much the same as you remember leaving it, but it now also has the teleport helmet wedged somewhere inside. And she says, "See, told you, I didn't hit the car."
Nice work.
No problem, V. I thought I'd got the model ready for it, but I haven't. All right. So as this is going on, what is... Hayden's not there. What is Otto doing with his morning?
Otto is reaching new levels of intellectual power over a recaf.
All right.
Has anybody asked him to research anything, or is he? He was researching noble houses and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, he was researching various things.
Right, he's gonna just take a bit of a side and be like, "Oh, sometimes I get bored of being so damn clever, and then just drink a recaf. Now for the forbidden fruit," and he's gonna slowly open his top drawers with his thing, and then go no, and then slam it shut and go, "No, Otto, focus on the task in hand. Not that.
Not that hand. Not that task in hand.
Not that hand." So he's going to basically go. He's just going to come into everybody. He's be like, "Guys, I've I feel like I've run out of things to research. Is there anything that you guys want to find out or know? Because I am at a loose end and I am ready to find out whatever it needs to be found out for you."
Vernetta's still got her comm turned off.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Let's have a quick...
Aiden's fucked off, so no, nobody wants to know anything. Like, all right. Well,
there is. What were you researching? Let's have a look.
Were you having to go at PowerPoint, Johnny? Sorry, I'll help you out, character, but in character you got not getting nothing. So I don't know. Like, was you researching PowerPoint? Was that done, or was that?
No, yeah, I researched PowerPoint a bit, and I'd done that, and then I was researching like the noble houses and the hierarchies and things like that, and their connections with business operations, and if there was any connection between business operations that had shut down and any particular noble house, that sort of thing. Just trying to look for a pattern that could reveal basically. And then I did some research on, I think, Felroth Gelt as well. Is that true? Yeah.
You did. You didn't find a great deal. You also were looking into Cyric scale. You exhausted everything you could find from the Decilium archives and also from Mesmeron's files on the cogitators when it comes to Cyric scale. You couldn't find much else. You were also looking into Felroth Gelt. You didn't find much information on Felroth Gelt. Thalix Graven. You looked into him, the guy that was part of Alyssa being installed, and you passed a lot of information on to Gaius, which actually, you don't know this, but Gaius found Thalix Graven, has him locked up. And the other thing you were looking into was Lord Eldon. Say again?
I haven't interrogated the guy yet, have I?
No, you haven't, no.
I mean, what's the rush? How long have we been playing Darker Heresy, Dave?
About 2 years. Oh, over 2 years. Over 2 years.
Thalix Graven, the key person that we need to actually completely unravel this mystery. Is that the person we're talking about? Is it? Or
No, he was the guy that basically was involved in Alyssa being installed, but slowed down the factory, kept sabotaging it, hoping that the
as a
authorities
saboteur.
would come. And the authorities never
How
came,
far-
and then he fled.
So how far do we
So
get
he
with
basically
the?
was, tr- he was,
how far
tr-
do we get with the
he was trying to
labyrinth?
reveal Tech Heresy. He was trying to
Yeah.
reveal Tech Heresy by slowing things down.
Yeah,
Right, so
but
he's
he was
not
also a part
necessarily.
of it.
It was part of it as well, so he's got a guilty conscience.
Yeah.
He's a guy with a guilty. I can't say that because I don't have a clue. But yeah, so it's right. So yeah, Otto's just going to basically open his top drawer and then it's going to fade to black.
I'll just make a quick note. Wanking. What were you asking, Alan?
I'm just saying, how far do we get with the labyrinth? And because that's something we haven't talked about for a while.
The labyrinth. Yeah, you opened one of the gates.
Mm-hmm. So he's done one of them,
which Otto passed through and witnessed the memory of. Of Alyssa basically killing her cousin using the servitor.
Yeah.
But nothing else. You know when you've got enough information, basically. Like Otto's smart enough to go, I think I've got enough to put information into the ledgers. You haven't got enough yet on anything else.
What I'm saying is that something he can work on or not, or does it?
Yeah, that's something he can work on. So it unfades and he's looking a bit sweaty.
Okay, so you opened
He wipes something from his brow and then sees something in his recap and he's like, oh, for God's sake.
There was the
Jeeves, can you bring me a new cup, please, and dispose of this one? Thank you.
Jeeves does not respond, but after a few minutes he does arrive and takes your cup away and brings you a new one.
Excellent. So thank you, Jeeves.
In the labyrinth, there was the three gates. There was the gate marked with Lord Eldon's, the Minotaur symbol that represents Lord Eldon. There was a gate with the name graven on it, and the gate with the Dark Mechanicus symbol above it.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some research into Minotaur or bullheaded based industries.
You have already opened the Lord Eldon gate. That's the one that showed you the memory.
So I'm going to do some research into the Dark Mechanicum, I think. Now that I've got a clear head. And just go for it. Just. Alyssa,
so you were.
Can you, Alyssa? I'm going to ask Alyssa. Alyssa, can you give me a hand? I want to learn a bit more about the Dark Mechanicum. And he's going to staple his fingers. Dark Mechanicum.
I noticed you looking at Dark Mechanicum stuff. You seemed particularly interested in a man called Cyrix Scale.
Yes. Did we find out everything about Cyrix Scale? Everything that there was to find out from our records, or do you think there's more that we could find out? You tell me. I think I know most of it.
Unfortunately, a great deal of the knowledge Inquisitor Mesmeron has stored is on physical hard copies, and I am unable to access it.
Could you give me a list of potential locations for these physical hard copies within the mansion? Because I could go and have a look.
Well, I do apologise, Otto. I'm not quite as smart as you, but if I had arms and legs, I would probably take myself to the library.
Oh yeah. What an oversight on my part. It's cast in the forest for the trees. Very good, Alyssa. Very good. Yeah, I'll do that then. So yeah, and then he's gonna be like, oh, Otto out. Thanks. Like flipping, she's flipping too smart for her own good. Just shuffle off towards the library.
Otto's just been trolled by the ghost of a 13-year-old girl.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Being all hormonal at that age.
You what? Sorry.
Be like all hormonal at that age.
She hasn't got hormones. So.
I know,
Yeah,
but like residual psychic pattern.
I mean, that's the whole point of her, isn't it? That she was 13 when her psychic powers awoke. You know?
Yeah.
That That was the trigger. She had her first period at the dinner table and then killed a cousin.
Talk about blobbing on people.
Speaking of which, there was a band on last night in the pub I was in called Lady Monsoon, and we had a bit of a discussion about what a Lady Monsoon was. Anyway,
Oh my god.
It's that basically is what happened with Alyssa, I think. That's,
all right, so
yeah.
also if you want to head off to the library and have a little search through Mesmeron's document, she's got a lot of stuff stashed in the library in various places. You can make you don't have the particular forbidden law skill, so you can make a general intelligence test, please.
So general intelligence. We have no intelligence. I repeat, we have no intelligence. Bear with me. I've got some silly things. Hang on. Basic intelligence, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So, go to Otto. That's Siegfried. Just bear with me. Tech difficulties. So fast. Come on, Otto. There he is. Basic intelligence. Very basic.
Nice.
Okay, is that good?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Good.
Okay, so you've already learned a little bit about Cyric's scale.
Mm-hmm.
How he was a former member of the Inquisition, and he was obsessed with AI. And in a jumbled, barely coherent book in the librarium, you find a little information. Where are we? And it seems to be written in familiar handwriting. It's the handwriting of Antonia Mesmeron herself. And it's very jumbled up and confusing to read. It's almost like train of thought style notes that she's written.
Yeah.
You recall Alyssa saying she had seen things in Mesmeron's mind when they first connected. Things that the Inquisitor had forgotten or been made to forget. And as you read from this book, you begin to be assaulted by visual images, almost like hallucinations.
Yeah.
And you begin to see events from the point of view of what you instinctively know is Inquisitor Antonia Mesmeron, almost like you're witnessing a memory. And you stand in this vision over a body of a heavily augmented, twisted man. And you know...
The twisty man.
And you don't know how you know this, but you know that this man is Noman Rhine. And you have killed him. Noman Rhine is basically another AI-obsessed heretic who Cyric Scale basically idolized.
Okay.
You see what you feel are your hands snatching up notebooks, tearing out a memory bank from a cogitator, and you glance out of a window and see a figure fleeing the scene from this building, and you give chase, but he's too fast and you are wounded, and he escapes.
Okay.
Cyric Scale, apprentice to Noman Rhine, escapes you. Your master will not be pleased.
Oh dear.
You snap out of this strange memory and gasp at the vividity of the images and the ghost of pain that Mesmeron felt where she lost her hand. Why did Mesmeron not tell you she had encountered Cyric Scale before, when you first returned from the Shattered Foundry?
That'd make it too easy, wouldn't it? She's testing us all. Constantly.
All right, Feminist, what are you up to?
Oh, well, I was just... what time is it in the day?
It was starting at about 9 a.m.
Starting at 9.
Because she is Felroth
breakfast
Gelt.
now.
Mesmeron's Felroth Gelt. I've got it. Figured it out.
I'm going to wolf my breakfast down to start with.
Yep.
I'm going to go to see Vernetta while she's working. But she's done other stuff first, so it won't be there when it's first turn up.
You can still talk to her.
Alright. Actually, no. I don't know what I want Vernetta for. Shall I go out and recruit someone? I don't really know what to do with it.
You don't have to do anything. It's up to you.
Okay. Fernus is going to go and see if he can recruit someone.
Okay.
He's going to go out and power play a little bit.
All right.
Make an awareness test for Fernus, please, Hayden. Okay, Dave, I will do. Wave. Very ass.
That.
Okay. Awareness happening right now.
All right.
Submit.
Ooh.
That sounds bad.
That was a fail.
Oh,
Johnny,
what?
can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Can you turn your mic sensitivity down? Because I'm getting a lot of noise off you.
All right. Sorry, mate. Am I doing your tits in?
Well, it's just I can hear like every slight movement you're making. For some reason.
All right.
It's not normally like this, but
Okay. So where do I do that then?
all right. So if you click on the cog down the bottom, near where your name is in Discord.
Okay. Yeah. A second. My name is. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. I am mic sensitivity and sound.
Yeah. So in voice and video, if you
Voice and
just
video.
yeah,
Input
you should have.
volume.
It should be. You should have the automatically detect input sensitivity thing
Yeah.
down the bottom. Move that up a bit to the right.
Okay, is that better?
Won't know until you start doing stuff. We'll see what happens. Okay. So yeah, Ferinus did not succeed.
Can he try and pop someone up on the corner? Let's go back.
Try what? Sorry.
Chat a woman up today for
Yeah.
Sarah Furness.
Sure. Make a charm test.
Alright, darling. Oh my goodness. You don't want to get dirty and do some work for me, do you? With a minus 30. What was it? Fellowship test, yeah.
Yeah. Charm specifically.
How's that?
Oh, yes. Here we go.
Can't see you, Johnny.
Nothing. I get slapped in my face.
No, you don't get slapped, but she politely turns you down and walks away.
That's good.
Trying to look at fancy things going.
Face day. All right. Canny, what are you up to for the first few hours of this morning?
I see on Canny's inventory he's got a chunk of arbite.
Yeah, I
So
don't
I'd
know where
like
that's come
to,
from.
I don't know. I'd like to maybe cook that up nice and rare. I don't know. I'll see if I've got anything else lying around to cook it with. And I'll have my breakfast.
Yeah.
That'll take. We can take a few hours on that, I think.
All right. Do you want to make a trade cook roll, please?
Okay. Trade cook. Oh, I don't have trade cook.
I don't know, don't you? I guess you best make a half intelligence roll then and see what happens.
Okay.
What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Oh, you're right.
What could possibly go wrong?
That's it's still a pass. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
it's-
didn't
it's,
obviously have it. My intelligence is 24, so it's good enough.
So yeah, you
We're getting the hang of this, guys.
you started to get the hang of it, and luckily you haven't given yourself food poison with the calf meat of a man who was killed in a ritual murder. Because, you know, if you had, that could have been really bad.
You can have like heresy crackling then.
Secret. Oh yes, it is Sunday.
Okay. And Siegfried, what are you doing for the first few hours of this day?
Hold on a sec, Dave. Johnny, I'm now getting like the opposite, where I think your mic is not sensitive enough, and I think you're talking and I can't hear you.
Well, I think
it's not picking up what you're saying. Sorry, Johnny.
you're
I
being,
can't hear what you're saying anyway, mate. So you might be like
Yeah.
making something either very witty or very insulting. I'd never know.
And put it somewhere between where it was and where it is now.
What about that? Hang on a second.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to give it a little go, Johnny. See.
Yeah.
Is that okay now? Can you hear me?
That sounds fine, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, I did have something really witty to say, but I've forgotten it now. So, well.
So
We'll
what
never
is
know.
what is Lord von Norton doing?
He's going to wake up, have some breakfast, flick through a fashion magazine, and file his nails, and then he's going to take his sniper rifle and strip it down, do some press ups, some random martial arts, and then he's going to go to the training room, and he's going to do some sword play. And then after that, he's going to go back to the kitchen, to the sitting room, and he's going to have some more recaf, and then realise, why am I drinking recaf? And then he's going to open some Amasec, have a glass or two of Amasec, put his feet up, file his nails a bit more, and then wonder if he's got enough bullets. So he's going to do an inventory and count all his bullets.
You do know you've only got 4 hours at the minute, don't you? Because this is a lot. I'm in 4 hours.
All right, sorry, yeah. He's just going to go for a walk.
Oh, that's really good.
So yeah.
You wanker. All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, dear me.
So around midday, Vernetta, you receive a burst from Gladstock. No, you don't, because you've turned your comm off. He comes down to the work.
Dave, can I turn off just auto?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's all I want to do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't want to risk
Gladstock,
operational security or anything.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Gladstock comes you at about midday and says, Miss Calomere, excuse me, I've just had a rather nice fillet.
Don't worry, I've seen Canny eat. I'm no stickler to manners.
Your transportation has been arranged. I have rented an ornithopter. It can be picked up on, and he transmits you the coordinates for this ornithopter platform, which is somewhere in the mid-hive on the exterior of the hive.
Okay, so my crack team has to be Otto, Theranos, and Spring, I guess.
Hold that thought. Because at around this time, Gaius Mortalis finds his way back to the mansion for the first time in around 3 weeks.
Okay, have I just come through the door?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody!
Gaius back. Guess who's back?
Oh, there's the fellow guys on the tails back to me. Right, let's...
Sentry gun. Sentry guns activated. Heresy detected.
Not again.
I'm joking.
So, guys, gets back to
light Heresy.
He's going to go to Briggs' room, stash some of his... He's going to stash his Arbites kit in his room, and redress it back into his other armour.
Yep.
I'm gonna respond into the comms of Gaius and go, hello Gaius. What brings you back to the mansion? I thought you were not coming back for some time.
Well, someone says, do you want to come out and play? And I thought, well, I'm in a good mood, and I do, Vernetta.
Oh,
Um,
so that must be
So,
Alyssa.
maybe so, maybe so. Yes, Gaius wants to play. Gaius has been enjoying playing Enforcer at the moment. It's been very much fun. I'm doing some good work out there, and I feel invigorated for doing it. How are you, Vernetta? It's a long time no speak.
Yeah, good. Keeping busy, keeping out of trouble. Nothing dangerous has happened or anything.
Oh, but something I'd like you to work on for me. In my,
Oh yes. I
out.
could use some productive work. I mean, Otto, if you can believe it, he's trying to make him a thermos flask. I mean, it doesn't seem a very good use of my time.
With a gun in it.
Have you got something important for me to do?
I do, actually.
What do you want?
I want another add-on lens for my... another lens for my eye. Oh, no, hold that, Vernetta. I want a changeable...
How many lenses do you want?
No, I want a changeable...
On each eye? A good eye or a bad eye?
Maybe my good eye. I'd like a single lens, what attaches from my ear like comms, and it goes over my eyes to give me a readout. And infrared.
What do you want infrared and reading
infrared.
out what?
Like just showing distance and wind speed and stuff like that. Telemetry.
Oh, a targeting array.
Yes, tagged.
That's a good idea. Okay, I'll make some notes.
Okay.
Well, the other one
I'll be excited about it, and I'll look at the thermos flask designs and mutter under my breath somewhat.
And Vernetta, I wanted to shoot a little. I want you to also make it shoot a laser instead of having the laser tracking. I wanted to just have a single shot laser come out from the side, so I can zap people by looking at them if I just feel like it. It'd be exciting. Just one shot wonder.
I don't know if I've ever made a laser before.
Laser eye.
Sounds complicated. Do I know anything about lasers or las weaponry?
You do know a little. You do know a little.
We can get some lenses for you.
You had started work before you took over Vernetta. Vernetta had started work on designing her like fantasy pistol, and it was based on a design of an Archaeotech weapon that she saw back when she was under the control of the Magos. And she's got a photographic memory for these sort of things, and she's got the plans. She did actually start working on an Archaeotech las pistol.
Okay, I'm going to have a pause for a moment. I'm going to say to Gaius, I think I've got just the thing. I don't need it myself anymore, not after Canny gave me this beautiful plasma pistol that has never nearly blown up and killed me. But, I've got just a thing parked. It'd be just the thing for you.
Oh, thank you very much, Vernetta. And can I ask you something as well? Would I be able to get you anything or find you anything you would need on the field? Supplies, anything you need, Vernetta, because you'd always work so hard for us. I would like to return the favour.
Well, I mean, it's...
Even your own private Sturman, if you want.
No. I mean, what I need is raw resources, metals, ores, circuitry, cogs, anything that will supplement the stores of the workshop, which have been somewhat depleted recently. Raw materials, that's what I need. I don't need your sermons, thank you.
Yeah, everybody needs my sermons, thank you very much, Vernetta. But anyway, Emperor bless Emperor bless you, and thank you very much. I will find you some raw resources and be on my way. But if you fancy a drink of Amsec later, I might be around the house.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm quite busy at the minute, but yes, I shall probably join you.
Well, don't be quick. I'll come down and have one in the workshop and just say hello. It'd be nice. I'd like to make my way around. Anyway.
Okay.
Tatty bye.
Tatty bye, Gaius. Are you all right, Gaius?
I'm just in a very good mood, Vernetta.
You just don't seem yourself.
Lots changed in myself, Vernetta. Anyway, Gaius over. Emperor be with you. Tatty bye. Yes, he does. Bye.
It's the best sign. It's the best sign off you can get for Imperial Legend. Tonight.
That's bad.
Gaius has quite possibly gone insane, Vernetta, in his time away. He must have seen some shit.
Haven't we all?
It's all the horrors. It's all the horrors he's seen. It's made him nice. It's made him nice.
Just to clarify a bit how the fabrication and construction and crafting works, when we design a new weapon or item, it takes, depending on what you're making, takes a number of different raw materials, which is basically broken down into certain types of material and certain types of component, and each of them have a financial cost in thrones assigned to them. And so when we try and get resources, I'm not going to fucking force you to go and look for a specific component. I'm just going to basically say you can spend however much time you want to try and find this type of component or this type of material. And then you just exchange thrones for those types of materials and components. It's a bit more abstract rather than worrying about exactly what each component is.
Okay.
Mhm.
Bulk buy ourselves some of a pack of material components and use what we need now. That sort of thing.
Right, I'm just going to.
Stuff, though. Come on.
Yeah, and obviously the more complex the device, the more complex the materials it needs.
Okay.
Like some of the basic components, for example, cost like 25 thrones each. Some of the really complex ones are several hundred. But it depends what you're making. Obviously, an Archaeotech eye, it's not going to use a lot of raw materials, but the component cost might be expensive because it's fancy shit in it, basically. So
I'm trying to be super fancy.
it's like a suit of flak armor isn't that much because it doesn't use a lot of components, but it uses quite a lot of materials. But the more advanced materials you use, the better you can make the armor. I'm just going to get a beer, have a quick wee, and then we'll carry on.
Okay, I'm enjoying being Gaius. I've just decided to go really upbeat with him. This is you're going to hate me for this. My other character I'm going to be like super happy with. I just got sick of being so dour for the Emperor with him.
Hey, you do what you're going to do, mate, to make the character fun for you to play, because it's,
That's it.
You've got to play it, if you've got to play it all the time, man, you should get some enjoyment from it, It's, if
Exactly.
you're not happy with how the character's playing, either change the character or you roll a new character, don't you? One that you do enjoy. So.
He's gone through a bit of it. It's happened at the right time because he's in the Arbites office, and it's kind of like got a bit of a restart on his what he thought was a failed career before. Yeah, well, if you think about it, he was an outcast from the other Arbites, and he had to report on them and do a bit of being corrupt. So he never really had a really good go at starting to be one. So he's quite happy having a little go in this field at the moment, and also having the power of the Inquisition behind him when he wants to make a firm decision. It's a good place for guys at the moment, and he's fearless as well, isn't he? So he's got to be slightly crazy. Doesn't run away.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
Yeah. He doesn't run away or anything, does he? Not his bag, maybe.
Cowardice is for heretics.
Yes, Gaius never runs now.
Yeah.
It's quite handy. So some of the like the
Not
fear
anymore.
tests and the debuffs you get from fear are quite severe. So
Debilitating.
I kind of made Gaius so as a mental fortress and a toughness fortress. Just a wall. That's what I was thinking. The wall to grab people on there's like getting shot up. Or tank. The tank. Use the tank. Mental and physical. That's what I designed it for.
I've written a lot of nonsense there. You get a buzz in your ear from your comm, Gaius. You hear a voice. Mr. Mortalis.
Bloodstock! How the devil are you?
You're gonna get shot for being happy. It's the 41st millennium.
Heresy is there.
There is no greater heresy in the untold billions of the Imperium than happiness. It's a joyous choir. Hello, like
I'm
Anyway.
well, Gaius. And are you okay?
I'm good, but it sounds like you're at the loo. Have I got you a bad time?
I did have rather a heavy lunch.
Oh my god.
What brings you back to the mansion?
Well, I got a message sounding like it might be from Alyssa talking to it, saying, "Is Gaius free to come to play?" And Drummond says, "Yes, so I'm here." I've done a lot of good work over there. I'm well ahead of my work, lads. I've got some time.
Good. The Inquisitor will be pleased. Alyssa, I assume you're listening? Yes, Mr. Gladstock. I'm listening.
Hello, Alyssa. How the devil are you?
I'm fine, Gaius. How are you?
Oh, very good. Nice to hear your little voice.
It's
How
nice.
you been keeping?
I'm good. It's nice to see you again, Gaius.
Are you at the toilet?
I don't require such things.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm backed up. That's all I can think about. I'm sorry, Alyssa.
Did you
Little ears.
Did you get my message?
I did. I've come to play. Can you tell me what we're going to do today?
Well, I sent you the report I intercepted.
I got it. We've got men on the ground off there now. So I'm here with you.
You've sent the Arbites.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Oh no, sorry, wrong place, Alyssa.
Don't toy with my emotions, Gaius.
It's okay, Alyssa. I've got someone in custody what you might want me to interrogate anyway. Ask questions about your interment to the machine. If you have any requests for questions before I interrogate this man, I will talk to you later on this.
Who do you have in custody, Gaius?
What's his name again?
Alex Graven.
I have Alex Graven, Alyssa.
Bring him here.
It is done.
Ooh.
I'll tell Drummond that's on inquisitorial business, and I'll have him as I get back.
Prisoner transfer required.
I look forward to it.
Oh dear.
Thank you very much, Alyssa.
She's gonna melt his mind.
Back to business.
Yes. The message I intercepted, the description of the pendant that sanctuary touched, cold and prickly, made him feel nauseous. We've encountered this before. Well, I haven't, but you have, haven't you?
Yes, I'm immune to such things now, but it's the touch of the warp on certain said items. Seen it a lot in Capilla.
May I present the initial... Sorry. May I present the initial report from the sanctuaries involved in a number of noble murders some time ago, and also the initial report from your own team in regards to the Black Orb found on Lans Gul'jan. And she scrolls this message across your eye, and you can see all these reports flick up, and they keep highlighting words like cold and prickly to the touch, feeling nauseous.
Do I have a sort of login thing with my brain then, an interface system with information which comes from my eye then? Like a memory backup. I just wondered if it's flicking past. I need that fitted.
It's literally just an augmetic eye, but it seems
I want a memory bank on it.
It seems that Alyssa can project stuff into it for you.
All right, she's inspired me. Okay, this is all very disturbing, Alyssa.
Gladstock is still on the line, and he says, "What's this? We have a lead on a Black Orb."
Yes.
Alyssa says, "Well, It's not described as a black orb, Mr. Gladstock. It's described as a small pendant of a black metal or stone, but it does seem to have similar properties. Gladstock.
Maybe one's been chopped down and made into pendants.
Perhaps so, although it is
jewelry.
It is widely regarded as incredibly difficult to work. All acolytes, cancel everything you had planned today. Priority mission. You are now on standby and must not leave the mansion. I believe Miss Trantia is in the carnival somewhere. Furnace, find her. Spring, how quickly can you get to Canny? Quick, quick, ladders! Replies Spring. Real quick, quick. Excellent. Fetch the pit fighter. Von Morton can be here in moments. I'll get hold of him and let him know. No need, says Alyssa. He's already on his way.
Steps out of the nearest wardrobe. Hi. I'm joking.
Siegfried.
I'm joking.
Siegfried.
Yes.
At this exact moment,
What for the door?
no. Your combead buzzes, indicating a call patched through from the House Pagney communication system. Greetings, Lord Rains. I hope the day finds you well.
I believe it does. Yes. I've been a busy man. And he's just going to look at his nails and nod.
I was wondering if you could spare me a moment of your time to assist with a little matter.
Is this Alyssa?
Hello.
Hello, Alyssa. How's it going?
Splendidly. Gaius is home.
Is this home? What? Yeah? Oh, you mean the mansion? Sorry.
Yes.
Bear with me. Bear with me. I've had a tough day, and then he's just going to throw the nail file onto the table.
The gang's all back together, Siegfried. You should come and play.
I think I will. There in a moment. So he's just going to, stick on some stuff, and he's just going to walk through as he is, because he's wearing his body glove and something fairly smart.
Okay. See you soon, Lord Rains.
See you soon, Alyssa.
Are you going through the wardrobe?
I am going through the wardrobe, yes. Line the witch. Sorry, I'm joking.
No. In the words of Alan,
I'm joking.
stop reading my notes. Because, we'll worry about it another day.
Are they tucked into the Chronicles of Narnia, or by any chance? These notes?
What I've said before is it's not like what I'm ripping off in my games. It's whether there is anything original in the game at all.
No.
The answer is probably no. It's all ripped off, man.
Everything is just a renewal of ideas, a regeneration of ideas.
It's a medley of
A medley of good ideas.
It's a trifle of ideas in my
A trifle.
Are we down to the
different layers of things? Yeah, no, we haven't got into the custard yet. We've just got through the hundreds and thousands on top.
I'm in the bottom, I'm guessing. I'm mulling around in my own pit of my prison, making my own shit up, aren't I?
Just look in the jelly, Hayden.
Just okay. Jelly.
I wasn't sure I was ready for that jelly, but it's it's good jelly. It's good jelly.
Even if it's a bit smelly.
So
I love it.
Siegfried is on his way back. Spring has been sent to fetch Canny. Ferinus has been sent into the carnival to fetch Trantia. Gladstock says finally into the comm. The rest of you, prepare for deployment. briefing once the whole gang's back. Fairness.
Okay. Oh, can I guys just sort his kit out in between the time?
Yep.
Fairness. Yeah, it's just basically leaving his Arbite gear over there so it's not massively overweight, put on his other stuff back and get his old stuff.
Good call. Okay. Fairness. The carnival is, as usual, quiet for this time of day, and you pass through the shanty town and head into the carnival proper, towards the fortune teller's tent. And as you push through the curtain, you see a strange scene. Agatha sits facing you. Her eyes are closed, and she holds one hand out before her. And there is a deep cut on the palm of her hand, and blood drips into a bowl on the table between her and Trantia. Trantia sits with her head bowed. She grips Agatha's wrist with one hand and places the other hand palm down on Agatha's bleeding hand. Focus, Trantia, says Agatha. Feel the connection. Allow it to flow through you. Just fuck off, Johnny. Fuck off. What the fuck? There's nothing rude in that sentence.
It's nothing. It's nothing. It's just like the. I just heard in my own head. I was like, I'm like, no. I was like, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. I've just started. I've started. I'll mute me.
There was nothing rude in that at all.
No, I think
I wasn't laughing because it was rude. It was just because it just reminded me of Star Wars. I was like, with what I was just saying a minute ago. I know. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm a bit giddy.
Anyway, allow it to flow through you. But just, originally when I wrote this scene, she was moving things around in the tent, but I've changed it. Just take what you need. You feel a faint ripple in the air around you, Fairness. A strange sensation like the air is becoming charged with static electricity. Yes, Trantia, that's it. You're doing it. Keep. Agatha's eyes snap open and she glares straight at you.
And I will interrupt this whole thing. Go, now then, guys, what the bloody hell are you up to?
Hang on, this is Fairness, by the way, not Gaius.
Oh, sorry.
Right, okay.
back in your box, Gaius.
All right, God.
Get your happy ass out of here.
What the bloody hell are you
It's in
doing?
the corner, Gaius, where you belong.
Oh, I just want to make Fairness Australian.
Yeah, man. There's nothing stopping you.
What the
Trantia,
bloody hell you all doing down here? I don't really know. What's this blood? Why does your hair feel all waxy?
Trantia gasps. The feeling in the air just vanishes. She snatches her hands back from Agatha and turns to look at you. Agatha says, we have met before, have we not?
Oh, I think so. That's why I know where your tent is, love.
Trantia looks at you. She looks a bit annoyed. She says, Agatha here is training me, Gaius, to be more useful in the field.
Gaius? Who's that bloody hair right
Fairness. No, Fairness. So,
now?
I trust this
fucking name,
interruption. Right? I trust there's a purpose to this interruption.
Well, what for isn't? You seem pretty pissed off, but I've only been sent here on Inquisitor's duties. Why else would I bloody be in this bloody shithole?
The
Anyway,
Inquisitor has returned.
no. You were wanted back in the mansion for Gladstock's reasonings. As, we've got to be out ready to deploy as soon as we can. That's all I can tell you.
Trantia looks disappointed. Very well. Forgive me, Agatha. Perhaps another time. She stands. She puts her gloves back on. And Fairness, you notice that you've never seen her without her gloves before. She always wears gloves. Long, elbow-length gloves that match whatever she's wearing. Her left hand is blackened and charred, as if by fire.
See?
That's normal, right?
Alright, fair enough to just note this without saying anything so I don't feel uncomfortable because I've seen a deformed hand.
Okay.
Sorry, burnt hand. Let me say that. PC.
So, where am I? Various people are going about preparing equipment, checking weapons, gathering ammunition, donning armor. Canny.
Hello.
Gonna get some beer while you do, Alan. Start, fellas.
It's around midday. You're in your room in the Warren beneath Ludmilla's den. You've just finished a rather tasty meaty snack. There's a knock at your door. Hey, yo, Canny, you in there, essay?
Yeah, I told you don't call me essay. I don't read or write.
Whatever, man. It's Santiago. There's some chick upstairs. He's asking for you, bro. She's fine, yo.
What kind of chick?
Little
Describe her
crazy.
like.
Wild eyes. Mohawk. Really stacked, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, just who you mean. Was she after me, I assume?
Yeah, she's up there waiting for you, bro.
Oh yeah, I'll be right there. I'll just get my stuff. Okay, I'm gonna leave the drug lab down here, but pretty much everything else I think I'll take.
Mhm.
Oh no, I'll leave behind the Arbite armor and shock mall.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and everything else I'll take back, including the firebombs.
Okie dokie. You head upstairs into Ludmilla's den. The club's quieter than usual. It's midday. There's only a handful of customers seated alone in various booths. Most look like they're about ready to pass out, probably having been sat here drinking since the night shift finished. On the dance floor, 3 burly men stand around a young woman. They leer suggestively at her, eyeing her like sewer hounds around a sump rat. One of them reaches a hand towards her. Spring lashes out, grabbing the wrist of the man, turns it and twists. The man gasps in pain. Spring's other hand comes up. A pistol appears beneath the man's chin. "No fucking touchy," she says. The man grunts in pain again, struggling to get free, and despite his obvious size and weight advantage, really seems to be struggling against her. His 2 companions draw rough-looking knives and move towards Spring. She sees you over this man's shoulder, gives you a wink. "Oi, oi, Kenny! How's it going?" She does not release the man. The other 2 men hesitate, and they glance between you and Spring.
I've just got to head off, guys. Sorry for a second.
All right.
I'll be back shortly.
You recognise these 3 men, Canny. You've seen them around before, and you get the impression that they know you from the panicked looks on their faces when they realise the object of their affections is here to see you. What would you like to do?
I'll walk towards Spring and I'll say to her, I said, I was thinking of stepping in, but I can see that you can handle yourself.
Well, you know, I've been having a few lessons, ain't I?
We haven't got any trouble here, have we? No trouble?
No trouble, Kenny. Yeah. No trouble at all. We would just say hello to your friend. And the 2 guys with the knives put the knives away and begin to back off. The 3rd man is still held at an awkward angle by Spring, who still has her gun under his chin.
I'm going to say to him, I'll say, looks like she said hello to you as well.
Yeah, all right, fine. Message received and understood.
Now fuck off.
Spring lets the man go and goes, "Off you go, boys. Chop, chop." They scuttle off out of the bar. Spring twirls her pistol and holsters it smoothly and says, "Glad as need you, Kenny. We got ourselves a job."
All right. I was going to ask, is it business or pleasure? Must be fucking business, eh?
Play cards, right? Could be a little bit of both, eh? And she scuttles off towards the entrance.
All right. Off we fuck then, I guess.
Outside Ludmilla's den, there's a small gathering of people clustered around some sort of vehicle. Fucking hell! Fucking vultures! Says Spring. She draws her pistol again, fires a shot into the air with a deafening boom. Hands off me wheels, you cunts!
You can't have anything nice, can you?
You can't leave anything around. You leave a vehicle lying around for a few days and it... Anyway, let's not talk about that. The crowd screams, panics, and flees in varying directions, revealing the object of their attentions. It appears to be made from a mismatched collection of parts, less constructed and more cobbled together out of whatever seems to have been available at the time. A few bits look like they might belong to a ground car. Other bits look like everyday objects. You're fairly certain the seat on this thing is just a chair taken from an office. Spring hops into the seat/saddle of the crude motorbike and gestures to the bathtub bolted onto the side of it on wheels. "Wanna go for a ride, Kenny?" She winks at you and grins.
What the fuck is going on? Have I still having an obscure or bad trip and I've never woke up?
No. She pats the vehicle. "This is Daisy. She's mine."
You build yourself, did you?
That'd be fucking silly.
Did you get Les to help you?
Les maybe had a little hand in the...
Yeah. I can see a bit of Les's handiwork.
He didn't do all of it, though. You know, I made some new friends. Come on, get in.
I'm going to look at it. I'm going to make a scrutiny roll, see if I think it'll hold my weight.
Make a scrutiny roll.
2 degrees of failure.
You have no idea. It looks very rickety.
I'll say to her, is this safe? Don't fucking look safe. You reckon?
Safe as a trio of Holgast in a dark tunnel, innit?
All right, well, as long as you say so, right? I'm going to get on.
Okay. It creaks.
I'm going to light an IO stick nervously.
Begins to creak and groan as you settle your way into it, and the bathtub you sat in kind of leans one way, and Spring on a motorbike kind of leans in the other way towards you a little. And she says, "Oh, hang on, I've got something for you." She unzips her vest slightly and reaches inside, pulls out a small bag, and tosses it to you. "As per our agreement."
Have a look.
There are 230 thrones in the bag. Spring, it seems, has been busy.
Oh shit, 230, you say?
Yep. "Hang on!" she yells. She strikes up the spluttering motor and accelerates the crude vehicle. It moves surprisingly quickly, even with the extra weight, but it handles interestingly. And for the next hour or so, you travel through the streets of Desolium at breakneck speed, heading down and down towards the carnival.
You done good, Spring. You done real good.
Okay. Let's put you on here. Do.
Oh, it's the mansion. I ain't seen the mansion for a long time. It's easy from last time. So it's in his office.
Gladstock comes to the end of the briefing. Skimmed a little bit of time there. He relates to you all the 2 objectives you have. 1, to investigate the mountain that Somnus Halbrel had tried to buy from these noble philanthropists that all died mysteriously due to the Black Orbs. The other objective, to head down to the district known as the Gallowsway and investigate this strange pendant that the sanctuaries are guarding at the minute in this scene of carnage known as Charnel House 17. Gladstock finishes telling you all what has been found and says, 2 objectives, 2 teams. Mr. Mortalis,
Yes, yes, Gladys.
you are in charge of heading down Hive. You will pick your team and proceed to the Gallowsway and investigate further. Miss Calamere, choose your team for the mission to investigate the mountain. So, out of character, you can split the entire group of player characters and NPCs however you want. But what I would suggest is you make sure that you each have at least one playable character in each party. It doesn't have to be Gaius, Siegfried, and Canny in one group. You can mix it up however you want. It's up to you guys. But the NPCs that remain, you can split them however you want.
Okay. And the Gallows is one retrieving this artifact from Satcheries, are they, dependent?
Yes. Yeah. So you're in charge of that. Venetta's in charge of investigating the
Well,
mountain.
if I don't... The mountain's the mass murder, isn't it?
Are we talking our character having some little chinwag? I mean, I think the most important thing is trying to track down the orb or the pendant that's maybe made from the orb or related to it somehow.
I would
take the main character, if you like, down that one, and then.
Well, I don't know. I would almost like Siegfried to go to the mountain and Otto to come on the investigatory mission with us because he's got the paperwork to back him up.
Well, maybe you want to have a little bit of split. I mean, it makes sense. So let's see. I mean, we really need Johnny in that discussion, really.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of what he wants to play on the different missions as well, I guess. So it's his characters. So
they can't both go on both missions just for the sake of
Yeah. Of course, you need to have split. You need to split them up.
Yeah. So you can decide everyone else, and we can. Sorry.
Siegfried's a good tracker and has great awareness.
Yeah.
Skills.
Wait till he's back, and then he can decide what he wants to do with them.
But you can
the other ones, I guess.
You can decide what to do with the rest while you're waiting for Johnny, I suppose.
Okay, you first, Al. Come on.
You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to say I'm having these people. You can debate it. You can.
We'll talk about it. But
I had. What do you want to? Sorry, what are you asking, Aidan? Asking.
I was just going to say, do you want to start picking a team and discussing who we're going to have for what?
Yeah, I mean, I would normally put the other group as normally Otto, Fairness, which is yours, isn't it? Or is it Tichos? Which Fairness is yours, isn't it?
This is, yeah.
So Fairness, Otto, Spring, and Vernetta. There's maybe that 4. And that would be like the core of that group, I'd say.
I think
Go on.
we could swap around Otto and Siegfried because you get a lot more firepower back in a group. But then we've got something we haven't got because you two have got tech skills.
Well,
I
get that. I don't think it's my idea. Let's just wait till he gets back before we discuss that. So let's do the other ones.
Yeah, but Titulus and the others really go with you. Fairness and Titulus work well together. Maybe we should have Trantier.
Keep them together.
Keep them together. And maybe we should have Trantier. You.
Yeah, while we're discussing around this round the table, kind of goes, yeah, we should definitely have Trantier in our squad. Makes perfect sense. So we've got like the two, the ones who they've got the new guys, Susie and Jarek.
Let's put.
Sorry.
Susie gets along with that other group more.
It looks to me like Jarek is a sort of tank character, given the fact he's holding a glass dinner table. So maybe he should go in the other squad.
Oh, true, actually, yeah.
So you don't know much about Jarek, but
he's got a chin that could tank.
Actually, I'm just going to turn around and ask Jarek, what are you good at on the battlefield?
All right, so
taking punches in the face, Jarek.
He just glares at you. He doesn't say much, Jarek. I'll tell you what he can do, just to avoid metagaming a little bit. He is a pure combat character. He's got 49 weapon skill, 42 ballistic skill, 45 strength, and 44 toughness, 38 agility. Everything else is fairly low. The next highest stat is willpower at 33. He is ambidextrous. He can drive. That's about it. He's got a few skills as basic skills that aren't very good at all. He can intimidate. He's 2-weapon wielder ballistic. He has his equipment consists of he has a naval shield, which is like a transparent version of a naval shield, so we can see through it better. He has a mono warhammer. He has what's called a concussion spear, which is basically a standard spear, but on the first strike, it can like blast outwards and cause like a knockback effect. But it's a one-use thing. And he also has a pair of Navy issue pistols, which are basically slightly more powerful Stub automatics, and he can dual wield these. He's equipped in flak armor. He's basically he's designed for like holding the line. Like his career,
he's a bit like Gaius said, isn't he? He's designed for
we put him in the other squad. There's a bit more.
He is similar to Gaius, but he's a bit more mobile than Gaius. His career has basically been defending against and participating in boarding actions on starships. That's what his training is.
So we've got Vernetta, the 2 Syrians. We're going to work with Siegfried, but we'll have to wait for Johnny.
Yeah.
Spring and Jarek. And obviously Vernetta. And then in the other squad we've got so far Gaius, Canny, Siegfried, Trantia. Susie, I guess we put in that squad as well.
Yeah.
Do we leave Pench here? Just leave him in the med bay?
Pench is generally not a combat guy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think just leave him here. I think leave.
He's also very valuable. You know, if he gets killed or wounded, who's going to fucking heal you?
The other thing I wanted to do, I can't remember how this went, but I tried to communicate to Johnny because I wanted to get him back so we could get the orb out for Gladstock, because I think Gladstock's needing it. So, and that's something I'd like to obviously try and deal with at some point, because I tried to get him back before somehow anyway. So now that he is back, I think Gladstock needs his fix. Else he'll be getting out of hand.
By the way, Gaius, Gladstock gives you a small box made of a strange metal with a number of peculiar runes and markings on them. They don't make you uneasy. They don't feel particularly strange to look at or anything like that. And he tells you that this box is basically something similar to the device that the orb is currently kept in, or the 5 orbs that you've already got. And he basically says, it's for putting this pendant in when you get it. It's a containment device.
I'll put it in my massive bag.
Let's talk to Gladstock. I think Gladstock's the only guy we haven't accounted for, so let's speak to him. I'll speak to him as Canny. I go, well, what about you, Gladstock? Are you coming on mission or are you staying back here? What do you reckon?
He says, my days as a field agent, I fear, are numbered. The Inquisitor has forbidden me from leaving the mansion in my current state.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Now I feel a bit stupid for even asking. Yeah, of course, we're not going to take you. We won't want you to be a liability, Gladstock.
There are no stupid questions, Canny.
Sorry about the delay.
Sorry, Johnny. I've only got blue squares, Johnny. Is he?
I can
See him.
see him.
Yeah.
Johnny, we
Yeah,
was just
Johnny.
discussing whether Siegfried should go with Vernetta and Otto.
Hold on. Like he's missing a bit. Like we're splitting the party across 2 missions.
That's not like us.
Yeah, no. Like we've got the whole squad, like the whole
Yeah,
shebang, and we're splitting them across 2 missions. Okay. I'm just gonna go for a slash. So we're trying to. Yeah, you still Johnny. Okay.
Okay, so basically, everyone has been brought back to the mansion, Johnny.
Yep.
There's been a bit of a briefing session, which we didn't play out. You didn't miss that. I've just assumed that Gladstock has basically said, Vernetta's found this shit on the mountain. Gaius has got this information about what is potentially orb-related down in the Gallowsway. 2 objectives, 2 teams. He's put Gaius in charge of the orb mission and Vernetta in charge of the mountain mission. So what has been happening is the party have been discussing how they're going to split the group. So obviously I want everyone to have a character in each party.
Mm-hmm.
What they're talking about at the minute is going on the orb mission down into the Gallowsway, looking for this pendant, is Gaius, Canny, Trantia, and Susie Suzuki. Heading to the mountain is Vernetta, Ferinus, Spring, Titulos, and Jarek. Ordinarily, of course, Siegfried would be with Canny and Gaius, and Otto with Vernetta and Ferinus. But Hayden's been making a case for swapping them, putting Siegfried with Vernetta and Otto with the main characters. Hayden, if you want to explain that to him, I'm up for a piss.
Yeah, it's just because we're on a bit of a research mission with the other one, and the Mountains Recon is where your assassin's got tracking and awareness.
Yeah, definitely.
Really
No,
good
I agree with that. No, I'm totally.
The other guy, if we've got anything academic, Otto is there to do it, and no shit. So I feel like
that's fine. Like that's what I'd do anyway. I'd go along with that anyway. That's the sort of that makes most sense. So yeah, that's cool.
I just feel that this one's going to be a little bit more knowing shit on this mission, whereas the other one might be
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, mate. The right tools for the job, mate.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I just got a feeling. Sometimes happens right, but
makes sense. I'm just gonna go for a slash, and I'll be back.
Okay, slash it. Haha. John has agreed.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's a good call because Otto, the one thing that your group lacks is like tech stuff and really smart characters. And Siegfried does bring a lot of firepower. And with Susie, Canny, and Gaius in your group, you're not really lacking on combat skills, are you? So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for it. Like I say, it's kind of up to him, isn't it? So. Yeah. But I think it definitely makes a whole load of sense, really.
The only other thing, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, just something to point out, is the Mountain team have no Psyker and the Orb team have 2.
Okay. What we got for Psykers then?
Trantia and Susie. I'm not saying that's going to be an important part of it. I'm just saying if you were trying to balance the skill set, one party has 2 Psykers.
And they're combat Psykers, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's not a defensive Psyker, is it?
No. I mean, Trantia's powers aren't that good anyway, and Susie is a pure melee.
Hold on, I thought we said we're putting Trantia on in with Canny and...
Oh, did you?
Gaius, yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's exactly what Canny said. So Susie's on the other squad, isn't she? Oh, no, you're right. Yeah. So both, no. So let's just, I'm with that. So let's just go with that as it is, I think.
I think so, because if both combat Psykers, it makes no difference to...
And the other squad's got like 2 guards in them. It's no big deal. I don't think that really matters. I think they're fairly well balanced.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it is a big thing. I just wanted you to be aware that was happening. So
it's a bit weird though, because I kind of feel like Gaius needs to be the mountain in case there's a chaos insurgent.
What are you saying now, mate? Sorry, I missed that.
It can't happen. It can't happen. I think what I'm saying is, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It can't happen.
All right, so this is I think you've split the teams into.
Yeah, that looks good
Yeah,
to me.
that's good.
Okay. All right. So what's gonna happen? Both of these missions, to metagame a little bit, are going to take more than one session. They're both going to be quite lengthy missions. There's potential that Ed and James might join us for some of this, in which case they can take over Trantia, Susie, Titulos, and Jarek and Spring. But also, on one of these missions, there might be a new character you meet.
Might and there.
Might be. Who knows? Anyway, so what we're going to do is, before each session, I'm going to start some stuff tonight, but before each session from now on, I'm basically going to give you the option of which team you'd like to play. Like a couple of days in advance. Do you want to take the orb mission or the mountain mission? Because they are both pretty much fully prepared now. I will say that I think the orb mission is going to last a lot more sessions than the mountain mission. But we'll worry about that as and when. During this briefing as well, I'm going to give you some information now about the Gallowsway. This is all going to be made available to you in a handout that will be built into Roll20. So this is basically some stuff that Otto has researched while you were waiting for everyone to arrive at the mansion. So the Gallowsway, it's quite low down the hive, right on the border of the lower hive and the underhive. It's described as a dank, forgotten place, perched on the under edges of the city. There's very little in the way of wealth from the hive trickles down here. And similarly, there's very little power, light, or food. It's home to thousands of unclaimed corpses. They are sent each day from the poorer sections of the city above for disposal. And they fester in these monumental warehouses before being processed in the level's numerous mortuarius factorums, as they're called. And the bodies that come here range from executed criminals, the unknown dead, and worst of all, those who have broken their oaths and deserve no proper burial or, disposal.
Oh dear.
You're saying it's an all-you-can-eat buffet?
Canny, yeah. It's a foul place to live, but one like this must exist in a city like Desilium, or streets would become choked with their own dead. The Gallowsway is run by a number of so-called carrion guilds. The carrion guilds are the closest thing that this region has to the nobility, and they're by no means the nobility, but compared to most of the people that live down there, they are. The carrion guilds are families that each maintain a house to store the dead before they are processed. And these houses are given numerical designations rather than names, and they're referred to as charnel houses. The pendant that you're looking for has been found in Charnel House 17. Charnel House 17 is owned and maintained by the Fane family and has been for many generations. There was reference to the Purity Gate in the report from Oath Captain Nils. It's an impossible task for the sanctuaries to stop all traffic between the lower hive and the underhive because of the nature of lower Desilium. The countless ducts and vents and shafts and various other pathways that link the two regions together. But within the Gallowsway, this region where the dead are processed, there's been attempts to try and keep the local gangs and such like in check by creating a purity gate between the hive and the underhive. It's a large, imposing blockhouse, and it straddles the main route down. all other passageways for kilometres in every direction are sealed off. So most foot traffic has to pass through here. So the Gallowsway, compared to a lot of regions in this sort of level of the hive, is quite secure and quite well looked after. And this is where Oath Captain Nils, the woman who sent this report, is based.
Okay.
There's reference as well in Otto's report to the mortuarius factorums, which I've already mentioned. These are factories where the dead are dealt with. They're connected to the charnel house by long conveyors. They process the corpses, breaking them down into useful components. They are large, noisy places filled with foul stenches and dangerous clanking, grinding machines, and are considered to be quite hazardous locations. Thanks to quite detailed reports on from the sanctuaries that operate in this area, Otto has learned a lot of other bits and bobs about the region. He's learned there is a scrap market in this region.
Trey's the perfect person.
And wherever there are...
He's no slouch with a data slate.
Wherever there are people, there is always some sort of trade, some sort of market going on. And down in the Gallowsway, most of the traded goods here are discarded from upper levels. And there's a thriving market in scrap and trash that exists in the shadow of what is known as the drains. We'll come back to that. There are streets devoted to buying, selling, and trading rubbish, basically of all kinds, because one man's trash is another man's treasure. Most of the items that find their way down here are taken from the dead. The few possessions not already pilfered before they were sent down here for disposal. So most of the market, this scrap market, deals in things like small trinkets, tattered clothing, but there can occasionally be the odd, interesting item found. The drains that I've just mentioned, even though the Gallowsway is populated by far more dead than living, the workers here need a place to sleep and rest in their fleeting moments of downtime. And the main hab block here is known as the drains. And it's named this because of the constant stream of vile water that passes through it from the levels above. Located at the end of the primary conveyor hub where the bodies come down, and stretching towards the exterior hive wall. And it's little more than a series of prefabricated containers that are stacked on top of one another, which were originally used for transporting goods around the lower city in more prosperous times, but have now become ad hoc housing for the residents here. The drains is described as dangerous and treacherous, not just because of thugs and thieves, but because it's unstable and constantly moves and shakes as people move across it, and is prone to flash floods, which can catch unwary travellers, as torrents of water from above can knock containers over or sweep entire sections away. There's also a region there known as the Boneyard. When the bodies are treated in the factorums, there's very little left, except a few shards of bone and teeth. And sometimes the workers are too lazy or busy to take care of these remains, and they are dumped all over the Gallowsway. And over centuries, this human refuse, these fragments of bone and teeth, have built up, and by some unspoken arrangement, they are swept away into a far corner of the region known as the Boneyard. There's mounds of fragments of bone and bone dust and splinters here. It's a very mournful, eerie place, and it's shunned by most of the locals. But some adventurous scavengers are drawn to it. Although there are tales of terrible creatures lured from the underhive by the stench of death.
Yes, that's what we like. Terrible creatures.
All right, what time are we on? Nearly 9 o'clock. So, I think we will start with the mountain, because you'd probably get there faster with your ornithopter. So
Unless you want to, I don't know. Unless we can do something else until the others get here. Sorry, I know the way like Ed plays Spring's really nice. I love his deep masculine voice for Spring.
it's there's no guarantee when either of them are going to be available for this game. So
That's true, Dave. Sorry,
we're gonna plow on with this game is yours. You're
I know,
free.
I know,
No
I know.
such
It's just nothing cool.
So we'll plow on and we'll see. They can drop in and out
I
any
think
time.
I think Aidan wanted to carry on with his main character. I think that's. I don't blame him.
Oh, we can do that if you
I-
want. That's fine.
I don't mind. I'd probably prefer the orb mission if that's.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
If that's all right.
So-
Dave, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. It was mainly for timeline reasons, but I can fudge that, so that's not a problem.
Is that all right, Dave? Because
Yeah,
that's got a
it's
lot of
absolutely fine.
NPCs in that game, and like
Yeah.
potential for getting the others in for a short mission where we can get them all together. Whereas this one's going
Shorter mission.
shorter mission, but I mean, whereas this one we've got like virtually all of us there without them, haven't we?
That's absolutely fine. It's not a
Plus,
problem.
I like playing caddy.
It was mainly because of timeline, because it's going to take about an hour
Yeah, I
to
know.
fly to the mountain, and it's going to take several hours to go downstairs, but it's not that big a deal. So
understand.
to start with, what I would like Canny, Gaius, and Otto to do is go on your character sheets and just mark every item you're taking with you with a star, rather than doing the usual bullshit inventory management. Just mark everything you're taking with a star, and I'll sort all that out later, just to make sure you're not overweight and stuff. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that while I.
Is it Otto I'm doing it for? Or is it
Yeah,
What?
Otto.
yeah, Otto?
Well, where's the star?
On the number 8, shift and number 8.
Okay, yeah, cool. No, tell me. Star.
That flask. I wish that flask was ready. This feels like a recap moment.
Not getting it, Johnny. Maybe you'll get it sooner or later, but like
Breaks my heart.
you've been riding me for too long. Like
It's low on
Flash,
priority.
flash. Like tell him what to do, Otto.
How can recap be low on priorities? I mean,
the real reason is I fucked up them gloves and I wanted to try and unfuck them. Really, what I should have just left them and embarrass Spring, but I just wanted to make something cool. So that's what's like unfucking my own.
She's a
craft
cool
week, that's what it's
character.
gonna be.
She deserves something cool.
Yeah, that's what I
she
think.
does, yeah.
So.
No, you're right.
She doesn't
She
want
doesn't
it to look
have
like a
any,
mum made it, like so.
He's used to being left out of the in crowd anyway, so it's all right. He's all right with that. He's cool. He does his own thing. I'll just ask Alyssa for some private archives footage of various female members of the team.
Dave, I'm putting a star against everything I'm not taking.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, I've done it the other way, but there's
That's
one
fine.
thing I'm doing different, Dave. Is
Yep.
that I'm wearing my light carapace, my flak stuff, but I'm keeping the arbiter helmet on for all of its bonus.
All right.
Do I have all the bonuses separate? No, I don't have. I don't have the head protection there, do I?
The helmet for the Arbite's armor has a power source, a battery in it that powers its other stuff. You know, because it's got like built-in respirator and things like that, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'll keep the helmet on because it does make sense.
So, yeah, I'll let you finish. Let me know when you've finished your inventory stuff, and I'll
I've done it. I've just left the Arbite's carapace out of there. I'm in my light Arbiter's armor with my flat coat on.
Yeah.
And helmet, light mode. Not stomping around. In fact, I get more armor with the Arbite's with the coat on, don't I? I'm on 7.
Yeah.
I think.
Just when Otto's finished with his inventory, there's something else I want to discuss as well before you go.
I'll take the data slate. I'll just put it in front of the.
I'm only taking. Do you want me to just start my weapons as well? I don't, because I'm not taking all my weapons.
Yeah, just mark what you are taking with the star weapon.
Yeah, I'll put it on the names of the weapons. All right.
Yep, that's fine.
So you know.
What you'll probably find next session is that your inventory is missing everything that you haven't taken, but I will have a record of it somewhere else. But you could be down in the Underhive for some time.
Thermos flask, definitely.
Never gonna happen.
He's got the other one on me, so that'll do for now. Might need a glow lamp.
I'm taking my knife just in case.
Just assume that I'm taking all the ammo. As well, please.
I don't worry about ammo. I assume if you're taking a weapon, you're taking all the ammo you have.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't bother with weights for ammo because I can't be fucking bothered.
I'll take a blank data slate as well because you never know when you're going to need a fresh reload.
Okay. Also, you can say as well, Otto, you've all the research that you've done on this district, because basically that happened behind the scenes. You know, Gladstock told you to gather some stuff on this district.
Yeah.
You will have that on a data slate, so you'll be able to, if you need to, use your common law skills to analyze your data slates and find information about this place.
Yeah, brilliant. That's what I need. So yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
I've got to bring the data slates.
I do actually agree with you. It was probably a very smart idea bringing Otto along because he does have his uses.
I brought my ward accessor, my combi tool, and multi key.
Nice.
Will I need an anti-radiation suit based on the information I have?
Not based on the information you have. No, there are hazards, environmental hazards down here, but not radiation based.
Okay, that's fine then. I'll just leave that behind.
That's
it.
Completed.
And I'll leave the Wernburgers and some dogs that have gone off.
They've probably gone off a long time ago. Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks.
The dust. It's just a hobby that he's.
Put them in the drawer. Put them in the drawer with the Xeno porn.
Second drawer down. I'll put the. He likes the smell of them.
So, who's looking forward to another good old-fashioned investigation?
Finally, it's been so fucking long. It's been like 20 sessions since we had an actual inquisitorial mission. This mission has been mostly planned since the game started. Not the Siegfried and Dick sessions, but probably from the moment that Gaius came into the game, this mission has been planned. So it's been a long time in the making. So a lot of my notes are going to make no sense. So there's another thing to discuss, and that's how you want to approach this. And Gladstock, again, coming out of character a bit to discuss this, Gladstock's basically suggested to you, how do you want to approach this? Because the idea is that this Oath Captain Nils has sent a message to Sanctuary High Command and also Arbite Command, requesting assistance from the Arbites or from someone in a position of power to come and have a look at this moral threat. But obviously, Alyssa has intercepted this message using Vernetta's algorithm and diverted it straight to Gaius, because it wouldn't have necessarily gone to Drummond. It could have gone to anyone in the Arbites. So what Gladstock tells you is there's a number of ways you can approach this which won't raise Oath Captain Nils' suspicion. If you turn up and say we're random people, she's going to think, well, why the fuck are you here, and probably not react very well. If you turn up and say you're a special investigation team from the Arbites or from the Sanctuaries, that's an option for either of those. Also, you could pretend to be an investigation team from the Consortium. And the Consortium are the body of ruling houses, like House Eldon and all these other houses you've come across. So that would be another option, to pretend to be from the Consortium. Or you could also rock up and say, yo, bitch, we're with the Inquisition. So they're the 4 options for a cover story or a lack of cover story that Gladstock presents you. If you can come up with anything yourselves, feel free, and I will, if I think there's holes to pick in your idea, I will. No, from the point of view of Gladstock, because Gladstock is helping you prepare for this mission. So discuss that amongst yourselves.
First rule about Necrophilia Club. Nobody talks about Necrophilia Club.
And the idea of this as well is, if you do need to pretend to be something that you're not, Otto can knock up false ID.
Yeah, basically, which is good.
Well, I think we should pretend to be cops, like. I mean, that's the most convincing thing.
Well,
We've already got, like, a chief officer here. He'll just order us his way through.
That's it. I've already got Arbeitshammer and maybe.
Yeah, the rest of us will. I mean, we just need some ID, right? Oh, you could do ID.
Yeah.
They'll fall in line super quick.
Arbeits is it? Then I won't have to lie to him, will I?
No, and we don't want that, do we?
Gaius does not do well with lying. No.
You wouldn't want to be a liar, would you? I mean,
No.
It's better to tell the truth in all things.
Exactly right. Emperor protects. Can it?
All
The Emperor protects.
I've got to be with you
no
too, as protect yourself.
I need all the help I can get, Gaius.
Well, here you go. Let me help you with this. And he spikes up an iron stick, passes Canny, and spikes one up himself.
I thought you'd never ask. Well, if we're trading, I've found something for you. Just lying around.
Well, this isn't a trade. It was a gift.
No. Well, you know, I know it's not a trade. You can give us another iron stick for this. I'll show him 24. I'll show him 24 bolt rounds.
Oh,
Look what I found. Do you need
All
bolt
right.
rounds?
Yeah. Here you go. Here's another IO stick. He presents the IO stick straight away.
I'll trade the bolt rounds for an IO stick.
Wow.
I'll put the IO stick away for later.
that is a fucking bargain.
That is most generous of you.
That's
Gary.
probably the
Canny.
best, the sweetest swap.
It is a beautiful swap. I mean, a whole IO stick. Do you know what that can buy in prison?
In prison, it's
24 bolt rounds.
Yeah, but you'd have no bolt to put them in.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so Hayden, if you want to add another 24...
I've already given him his bolt pistol. I'll give him the ammo as well.
Yeah.
So.
You just need a vice, a hammer, and a nail. That's all you need in prison. If you got the
They are bolt pistol caliber rounds as well. So you can add another 24 bolt pistol rounds, Hayden.
I will do. I'm just on it now. I just remembered negating it by 1 when I got on, so...
Okay, so...
Good to see you, Gaius. You look like... have you lost weight? You're looking good.
Yeah, I think I've trimmed up.
Yeah, you're looking like a spring in your step or something.
If ever there was a fish for a compliment on weight from Canny, that was it.
To be honest, Kenny, it looks like you've just got bigger and stronger.
He does actually look like he's put on a few pounds.
I'm eating well. I've been trying my cooking, if truth be told.
Hey, once this is done, do you want another match in the arena? I know I'm probably going to get knocked out again, but I still want to fucking feel it. I want to feel it for the Emperor. You're a good opponent.
You know me, guys. I can't stay away from the arena.
Oh, we'll have a go. I know you're bad, me, but I just
love it won't be like that, I'm sure.
Who cares? Let's do it. Like friends.
All right. So before we set off, what Gladstock recommends to you is, because obviously Gaius is in charge. You've said you're going as the Arbeits. It's probably the easiest lie that you could. It's the easiest cover you could probably pull off without actually going in and saying, "Hey, we're Inquisition." So what Gladstock has recommended is that you go in under the cover of an Arbite special investigator team. And there are such things, and these aren't, just a squad of Arbites. They're usually one or two members are proper Arbites, but there's usually other people in there. For example, Esther is a member of a special investigation squad. Greta is a member of a special investigation squad. So walking down there and introducing yourself as a special investigation squad with a giant fat man with an axe, a crooked-backed nerd, and a couple of psychers is probably the best cover you could probably have picked, which is pretty good.
I'm a special investigator.
We need you're a special investigator. I'm going to look at things.
Well, belongs to a very special set of skills.
So I'd like Otto to create some fake ID. You don't have to create one for Gaius, of course, unless Gaius is going in under a false name.
No, get it go as myself, because then I don't have to lie.
Okay, so are the rest of you going in under false names or your real names, but with forged oath cogs?
I would like a whole new name, please.
Okay. What would you
I
like
will
that name to be?
designate you a name. Since
Hey?
you're part of my team, I'll give you a name.
Fuck off giving me a fucking name.
Perfectly
You're
good
gonna
name,
me.
Kenny.
Hey, I want to be, I don't know.
I want you to
think of a
be
name. You think of a name, guys.
James Tenderfoot.
Yeah, Mr. Tenderfoot. That sounds like classy, doesn't it? Yeah, go for that, Otto.
All right.
Make sure you spell it right. It's two. Yeah, you know how to spell it.
That's the one. I'm really good at spelling, guys. Kenny, don't you mind me?
I'm talking to Otto here.
Oh, sorry, I was just talking to the voices in my head.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I do that sometimes. More times than I care to admit.
Makes us human, after all.
Yeah, human. So Otto.
Yeah, I'm perfectly human.
Otto is
me
Otto
too.
going with a false name?
Otto is going to go as
Call yourself Blotto.
Otto, yeah. Otto Crash Mark.
Blotto Crash Mark. All right. What about
No, Blotto Gash Mark. There you go.
Gash Mark? Okay. What about Trantier?
Trampier.
You shouldn't have gone there. You shouldn't have gone there. No, don't. No, we're not calling a trampier. Fuck off. Fuck off, guys. Don't talk about it like that. What are you on about? No, we'll call her like, I don't know. What do you want to be called, Trantier?
She smiles for a moment and says, Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal Juggins.
It is.
And I shit you not, that is the name of the singer that was on in the band in the Queensway last night.
Awesome.
And it turns out it's not a stage name.
No way.
Yep.
That is insane.
Well, suppose that only leaves Susie.
Yep.
What do you fancy being, Susie? Any particular role? Will you get choice?
She considers this for a moment.
I'm going to look at Snoozy and sniff and go,
She turns and grins at you, Canny, and gives you a smile with these filed, sharpened teeth. She's going to go with the name. Hang on.
It's McGee.
Debbie McGee.
That's not a real name.
Miss
Oh,
Dickens
It's
Charity.
an ancient name.
pass it down.
From generation to generation.
There will always be a Debbie McGee.
All right, if there's a Debbie McGee, then I'm going to go as Paul Daniels. That's
Debbie Suck Me.
Otto's going to be Paul Daniels. That's his
What about
new-
Suck Me Debbie? Suck Me Debbie.
Okay.
I'm sure Susie doesn't want to be called that.
Susie says she's going to go under the name of Tracy.
Tracy.
I don't
Tracy.
like that name, I'll be honest.
Tracy Kobu. And she says,
Kobu.
"It is a name of an old enemy of mine."
Ah,
Okay.
good.
Good. So now we're done playing make believe. Anything else you need to get done before you get back?
Sorry, I'm just crossing the streams over here. Right, okay. So Otto, I'm going to need you to make 4 trade copyist rolls, please, for making these forged oath cogs.
Okay.
Each one will be at a plus 20 because you have your auto quill and the. Oh no, that's a point. Vernetta has to get involved.
Okay.
Vernetta, I need 4 trade armorer rolls off you at plus 20 for the workshop.
Okay. Me when I go onto the yeah, don't matter.
That's all 3.
Just hold on a sec. Do you say 4, Dave?
Yeah. They would have all been at plus 20, by the way, Al.
Okay, no worries. I did one too many, I think, because it didn't make a beep, so I thought it hadn't gone. So the first one, is it for me to say?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
saves me. So 2 degrees of success.
Yeah.
A straight pass.
Yeah.
3 degrees success.
Yeah.
Straight pass.
Okay. Is that including your plus 20?
Oh no. So the first, sorry, let's start again. So the
That's
first
4,
one is
2.
First one is 2 degrees. First one is 2 degrees. Second one is a straight pass. Next one is 5 degrees. Then it's 2 degrees.
All right. So that's the making of the cogs. And then Otto, if you would please make 4 trade copyist rolls with a plus 20 for your auto quill.
Oh yeah, I like that. 20.
And these combined will be how good your fake ID is.
20.
Okay.
It's not too good.
What's your last one? I don't see it.
There we go. Trade. So, indulgence, scrutiny, trade. I'm right on it. Trade copyist is first one's 1.6, second one's 0.7, and the third one's 2.9.
Fourth one.
Will we do a fourth one yet?
Yep.
Bear with. Trade copyist. Let's build the suspense, guys. It's not that I'm really slow with tech. Or anything.
Nice. Okay, so
nice copying, Johnny.
you're fairly convinced you've done a good job with all of these. They should stand up to casual scrutiny fairly well. Trantia's is especially good quality. Susie's is also very, very good. Canny's is decent. You think Trantia and Susie, their versions might stand up to much more than just a glance. You know, they might even pass proper cogitator and servitor-assisted scanning. Canny's is still very good quality. The only one that it's still good, it still looks the business, but the only one that you are concerned with that might not pass muster if really fucking heavily scrutinized is your own.
Okay.
And there's a beautiful irony in there somewhere.
There is.
All right.
Okay.
So with all that done, are you ready? Is there anything else you'd like to do in preparation? I've covered everything I would have brought you as Gladstock. So if there's anything else you'd want to do, now's the time.
Oh, I reckon we
I'm
should
gonna
have a round of drinks.
Yeah, I'm going to take some photos of the team, set just for the wall. You know what I mean?
I'll get in there with you, Otto.
Right, Jeeves, come here. Jeeves, can I have you report to the thing? I'm going to get Jeeves to. Has he got hands of some description? Could he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
I'm going to ask him to take some photos. I'm going to program him and go right, just with a very light touch. This touch screen, and just gently dab on that button, Jeeves. When we're all lined up, aim it towards us, and then press very lightly that big little button there several times. And photos, thank you. Some pictures.
I'm going to smile.
I'd like Otto to make. I'd like Otto to make a fellowship test with a +10, please.
Ooh, fellowship. Nice strong suit. It's not +10. Developing a relationship, me and Jeeves. It's
to be honest,
he's probably my best friend on the team.
Otto is the only character that's actually gone out of his way to be nice to Jeeves repeatedly. It's been quite sweet. Okay, so
Well,
Jeeves does as he asks. He takes many pictures. You're not really sure what these pictures are going to be like.
Still feel like shooting him in the head again.
But there is a wall, as you know, in the bar.
Yeah.
In the bar in the mansion, there's a wall over here. All the way over here in this room. The western wall here has all these pictures of Mesmeron and her former master and numerous other people. There's even one of Gladstock with a very young Mesmeron and some other people you don't recognise. And it looks like there's a lot of pictures like this, pre-mission pictures. And on the ones where they look younger, they look quite intimidated and scared before missions. And on the later ones, you see they're looking less bothered and more nonchalant as they get hardened and used to the missions that are given to them. But you also notice that on each picture in chronological order, somebody is no longer a part of the team and they're replaced by a younger, more scared looking person. And now you have your own series of pictures to add to this wall. Anything else?
I was going to make a sign of Aquila at an angle. I mean... Trying desperately hard to be cool, but it's never going to happen, Otto. It's not what you do.
I've made a note here that says Otto west siding the Aquila.
You're the real deal, Otto. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Eh? You've got gang credentials.
Thanks, Kenny. I've been working hard on my swagger.
Yeah, can never thank you enough for saving all of old Wiley's money.
Oh, you know, it was my opportunity to do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we're going into combat together, Otto. It's going to be grand. I've got you fighting side by side. It'll just be like the old days.
They won't stand a chance. I calculate that we'll win.
So, before we proceed with this mission, like I say, I think it is a really good idea that you take Otto on this, but I am a little disappointed that Otto hasn't gone on the other mission. And you'll see why eventually. But anyway, all right. Is there anything else you'd like to do in preparation for this?
I think I'm good to go.
Yeah, Hayden, are you good?
Yeah, sorry, I'm in.
When it comes into Missy, Sorry. Oh, Hayden, if you want to do it, sorry. Yeah, I think sorry.
What? No. It's just point to my squishy fish behind me.
I'm gonna
You want to talk to Missy? I want a sandwich, Otto.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, if you ask her, she'll do you all right, big pack up. She always does. Missy, sorry, I'm just coming into Missy. It's Otto here.
Well, hello, Otto. Is there something I can do for you?
Yes, can I have a week's worth of ploughman sandwiches, please? Thank you.
A week's
And,
worth?
yeah, if you've got some way of preserving them, that'd be excellent. And have we got any good quality recaf available? I'll bring my flask down. I just we're just off on a bit of an excursion. I just want to make sure that I've got enough essential supplies.
Of course, we got recaf. Oh, we always have recaf.
Oh, fantastic! Have you got any re-sugar?
No, we got some real sugar though.
Real sugar? Oh my goodness me!
Why you want some? You want some real sugar, Otto?
Oh, Missy, if you're willing, if it's on the table, Missy, if it's on the table, then it's got to be snatched, hasn't it?
Well, sure. I've been looking for a good daddy for Thomas for some time.
I just wanted some sugar.
I'm just pulling your leg, Otto. Of course, I got some sugar.
Well, don't pull my leg.
Why, you want something else pulling?
It's no, just some sugar.
Again, I'm just pulling your leg, Otto. I got you some sugar. And she makes you all some sandwiches and does give Otto his flask of recaf.
Thank you very much, Missy. That's much
nice.
appreciated. You look a bit sheepish.
Thank you.
And then I have this question look in his eye, like, should I ask her to pull it? And then sort of turn away.
It's like maybe Otto's thinking maybe if I get like an Eldar hat, it'd do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter designed this fish, and I copied it with that one. And
that's awesome.
It's really cool, isn't it? This squishy fish
awesome.
board.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Come through there. But yeah, it's on 2 bits of ply. It's actually making my leg dead. So, quite good and tasty.
Yeah, it's pretty good, that.
Awesome. Sorry, I thought I'd show you. Something I've been doing.
Very cool. Very
so,
cool.
If you each want to add 7 ploughman's sandwiches, we won't discuss what's in them too much and what they do. But you've all had 7 sandwiches made, and Otto has a flask of recaf.
Essential for the operation ahead.
Oh,
essential.
I'm going to come in and go. Thank you very much, Missy. This pack-up looks amazing.
He says, well, anything for you boys. You done saved my life and the life of my boy. Yeah, when the mansion got attacked, basically Missy was hiding in the kitchen, and you guys fucking protected her, didn't you? So.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I remember now.
Okay, any other preparations before we make a move?
I'm changing into my Arbeits armour now.
Full Arbeit, yep.
Yeah, but with my flat coat over it, so I get an extra +1.
Canny's going to sneak off and eat 7 ploughman sandwiches.
In one go.
All right.
Then he's ready to go.
I'm just going to chastise myself for a little bit because I haven't done it for a long time.
Going to have a little flagellate.
Yeah, I'm still working to that extra +1. One day it'll come.
By the way, I've just remembered, I ruled this a while back. You can't wear the flat coat over the Arbeit armour because it's too bulky. It physically won't fit.
Can I wear it underneath?
No, you wouldn't be able to get it on. It's custom made for your body, the armour. There's no give.
Okay, I'll there is Arbeit armour all the way then.
Yeah. So you're just sticking with your Arbeit armour. There is a way of augmenting Arbeit armour. making it more potent, and it is an option I was planning on presenting you with in the future.
I think Gaius is going to go down the bionic man route.
I mean, that's another option. You can get the machine trait and get bits
Yeah.
replaced and stuff like that. But there is I've forgotten what it's called, but you can basically get like Arbite's riot armor, and it's like ablative armor that you bolt onto your armor, and it gives
cool.
you. I think it gives you an extra 2 points of armor, but when it takes so much damage, it's destroyed. And it's designed for like heavy assault for the Arbites, basically.
Nice.
And that was something I was going to present you later on in the campaign, when things really start to cook.
Okay.
But to be honest, you really don't need any more fucking armor, guys.
I do.
You don't. You
know,
really don't.
Make it difficult as hell for anybody to hurt me.
It already
Mentally or
is.
physical.
It already is.
I know.
The problem that we've got is
the balance.
scaling, the balance and the scaling. Like, to put stuff in the game that could wound you means I'm putting stuff in the game that can one-shot decapitate everyone else. So I can't really let you get any more armor just yet.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but you will have the option to gain some later. But like I say, it's like ablative armor. It is really potent, really tough, but I can strip it off you if I need to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I don't mind that in a weird way. I mean, in combat, I'm not basically talking about forcing guys to do a striptease, although I could do that because I'm the GM. That's an idea.
Well,
Anyway,
look. What's your name? Cassis Casadas. Dirty bastard.
Yeah. All right, are we all ready?
Yeah, I like the way you laughed. You knew who I meant. The guy from Morrowind who makes his strip carry on your main quest.
Yeah, that was a good quest. All
I
right.
thought that was a good quote. I knew you'd get it. I knew you would have that.
It's been a long time since I played Morrowind. I really enjoyed it.
That's an old quote. Like the Khajiit drug mule quest. Anyway, I'll shut up.
All right, so with your new IDs, your weapons, armor, and equipment, the 5 of you, Gaius, Canny, Otto, Trantia, and Susie, reunited, head down Hive.
Gonna meet any
You
corpse
bored?
grinders, Dave?
You what, sorry?
Gonna meet any corpse grinder gangs?
Not yet. I mean, no.
To do.
Heading off with your orders from Gladstock, you head down Hive to investigate a tip detailing the discovery of some kind of artifact, some similar item to the Black Orbs. Your party of acolytes makes the journey down Hive from the relative civilization of the Carnival of Catastrophe, clutching your forged oath cogs and the false identities they grant. And you board a rickety, poorly oiled elevator and descend down and down. And you watch as one decaying level after another slides by, each subtly worse than the one before it. And as the rusting Hive lift platform shudders to a halt and the huge corroded metal doors grind painfully, groaningly open, they reveal your stop. The Gallowsway.
We'll get off.
A woman stands just outside the door.
Evening.
She's wearing the red and black armor of the Decilium Sanctuary Oath Bondsman. The rank on her shoulder marks her as a captain. She looks to be maybe in her 40s. She has a grizzled face. Looks like she's seen much. There's a bit of a scar running down her jawline. She clutches in her hand a stick with what looks like an oily tarp wrapped around it. On her hips, there are a bolt pistol and a shock maul, and slung across her back is a shotgun. And she looks you up and down.
Investigator.
I've got it written down. It's okay.
She looks at you, Canny, and looks you up and down, looks at the rest of the group, and then turns to Gaius in his armour and says, "Well, it's about time you showed up." She steps forward and extends a hand to you. Oath Captain Caitlin Nils.
Gaius Mortalis, the Arbeites, Drummonds. Under 700 Drummonds. No, I'm not. Shut up, rewind. Shut up, rewind. Hello,
He's blown.
I'm Gaius Mortalis, part of the special investigation team of Arbeit investigation. Yes.
Deloitte.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. I didn't say that first bit.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
fine.
okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Please don't.
It's
penalise
alright.
me. I realised my
Oh, no.
mistake.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, you haven't
It's
said
all
that.
good.
That's okay. She says,
I'll just sank my ship.
"Well, you certainly took your time getting here, but you're here now. That's all that matters." She points down a reeking street where it looks like rain falls, and occasionally you see sheets of water just sloshing down from above into the street. And she says, "Welcome to the Gallowsway. Where's Johnny just gone?"
I'm here.
I can't see you. Just 1 second.
A second. Just me.
Well, you make a warm welcome.
That's it.
Please,
there
can
we go.
you show us to our quarries? Show us what we need to be looking at. Give us a rundown on what's been happening.
Follow me. She raises the stick with the tarp, flicks a switch on it, and it pops up, extends about 4 feet up. You see all these veins come out, and this oily tarp extends over you. It's basically a giant umbrella, and she gestures you to step under it and follow her.
Yeah, well. Kenny, you're too big to get in here.
No, he's not. He can fit under it.
What are you trying to say, guys? What are you trying to say?
It's cut down your ball line, mate. Get some exercise.
Oh. I'm just big boned.
No, I'm adjusting, Kenny.
Inquisitor in life.
Fuck off, mate. Not seeing you fucking ages, giving you some fucking bolt rounds, then you're fucking taking the piss out of my diet. I'm eating very well. I'm eating the best I've in ages. I'm getting really good at the bacon sandwich cut with meth.
Guys just raises his eyebrow but smiles wryly. And then looks back to his conversation with this person, to this captain of the Arbeites of this section of Sanctuaries, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sanctuaries. So, chuckles to himself and lets Sanctuary carry on and tell him what we know under this big umbrella.
Okay. She begins to lead you through these reeking, filth-strewn streets, and the sound of the water falling from above constantly is drumming in the background on this massive tarp. And the water that drips off the edge of this giant umbrella is very oily looking. Has an unpleasant smell to it as well. A kind of greasy, almost fatty smell. And as she leads you through the street...
That's canny.
Is anyone else hungry, or is it just me? You hungry? Anyone could use a bite to eat? Or it's just me, is it? Oh no.
Kenny, have a sandwich on me.
Oh, you're a gentleman.
Pass him
I'm
one
gonna
of my
take and
7
eat.
sandwiches.
I'm gonna take and eat the sandwich.
She notices you pass the sandwich, and she says, "I'd be careful passing fresh food around like that if I were you. A lot of
Well,
folk down here ain't seen
how am I meant to eat it if I don't pass it?
all I'm
Look,
saying is you,
no, I know what you're saying, Century, but would you get between that man and his dinner?
she looks you up and down as you're like, no. You got to,
So let's be on with us.
Just let him try and take my sandwich. Eh? Just let him try. Let's see what happens.
this is your first time down in the Gallowsway?
Yeah, it is. Actually,
No,
nothing looks
no, I
familiar.
come,
I'm a
Yeah.
special
come here.
investigator.
I come here all the time. It's my favourite place in the whole hive.
Says, well, you want a little bit of advice? The people down here, they don't take too kindly to the law, so tread carefully. I'm not saying they'll attack you or be violent. It's just these folks feel mostly abandoned. Been a lot of trouble in the past, gang violence, that sort of thing.
We find if you give a person a chance, maybe they'll come that way, or maybe they'll stab you in the back. But as long as you give them that chance, you will know. You will know for an emperor living citizen instead of judging them on sight. It can be a dangerous path, though.
Certainly can. I'm just saying, be careful. I mean, you look like you can handle yourselves in that, but not everyone.
I've been shot in the face before. It's not a problem.
Me too. And she indicates the scar on her jaw.
Yeah, and I'll wink my bionic eye at her and proffer the scar out the back of my head by taking my helmet off. Put it back on. To the meeting.
Give me a charm test, please.
Oh, not a charm. I'm not trying to charm her. Do not want to do this.
I don't care. I am the GM and I call for it.
Thinks I'm a dickhead.
She doesn't seem to react at all.
I wasn't trying to charm her.
I know you weren't, but I asked for that test for a reason. So anyway, as you're walking through this region, she indicates a few points of interest to you, and she points out a few places that you heard of in your briefing. She points out a number of the charnel houses, and they're all quite simple buildings. They all have numbers above their doors rather than names, like you've been briefed. She indicates the stack of containers in the far corner near the hive wall, the so-called drains, and you can see there's a few pale-faced people peering over crudely made handrails, watching you as you approach the area. The lighting here is sporadic and sparse, and it seems to consist of very crude torches, wooden torches or metal torches wrapped with rags, doused in promethium, wedged into holes, things like that. You see a huge pile of tiny fragments of bone swept into one corner of the district. You see what looks like a crude marketplace, but there's currently no activity there. There's no open stalls. It's just a series of tables with tarps over them. All of these tables are empty at the moment. And eventually, she leads you to this large building that looks like little more than a warehouse. He says, "This is the place. Charnel House 17. And she pushes open the door, collapses the umbrella, and says, "Follow me."
All right.
She steps inside. Just going to have a wee.
It's a trap. What?
Always a trap.
It's a trap.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm off
Always.
this flash.
Okay.
Johnny,
Yeah,
how
man.
excited are you?
I'm psyched, man. I'm super psyched.
Fucking
It's
psyched.
super psyched for this event. It's going to be cool.
I almost feel like we should share a tent, but you have
Yeah,
to risk it.
I know. Yeah, I could just sling it. I could just sling it in the.
I'd
I could just sling it in the
rather
back.
Yeah, you just set up a little tent at the back for gear.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, yeah. Yeah. That actually, you know what? That's a really good idea. I'd be up for that. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's
She
not.
has. No,
It's
we
all
need
right.
our own.
Yeah, we need our own space. Wait, sleeping near me is like dangerous anyway.
Yeah, man. Danger.
I'm
Danger zone.
no, literally, I'm a different man when I wake up.
You are. I don't like you when you wake up.
No, it's best to keep me away from people for the first 2 hours of my life
It is.
every day, and then I'm nice. I balance out and go, yes, I can be sociable now.
I can speak. I can not kill people and be nice.
I know. I wonder if trans man's turned into a woman this time.
Probably has. I think. I believe so.
He's had his transition.
Yes, he's transformed.
He's transformed to a
She's
woman.
transformed. Yeah.
She man.
Yeah. We
She
yeah,
man.
we meet some very interesting people at these events. So.
No, I'm sorry, but that is the best. Best I could have done. She man.
So accepting.
I'm not. I'm a little. I just don't think it's no normal with a person who wants to like mutilate the good penis. It's like, man, can't you just enjoy rubbing it? Honestly, just enjoy it. You don't need to chop it off and turn it into mangina, and then keep on like pills for the rest of your life to give you so your estrogen pills stop your chest hair growing. But if the doctors go bust or the medical supplies stop providing you pills, you'll be a hairy bearded woman. Oh, it's terrible fate.
You'll basically be like Babs off League of Gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I don't know. I shouldn't really talk about it. It's just I don't understand why anybody wants to get rid of the bits. Seems as I like mine so much.
Yeah, maybe
I feel like this is a strange point to join the conversation.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to justify my almost. I felt like it's almost a trans slur. It wasn't, but I don't understand it.
It's okay. Yeah.
Edit that bit out, Dave.
Absolutely not.
I'll be back.
Be like super trans-slurred man, hit by the trans generation.
You're gonna get Dark Heresy cancelled. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Trans.
Because I was trying. Wondering what was. Yeah. I've done it now. I'm not going to open my gob anymore, otherwise I'll end up in Slurland, did it? You know what I mean?
Just wait for Johnny to get back and we'll fucking proceed.
So, Alan, you alright?
Yes, mate. I'm just scoffing at the minute, so that's why I just muted myself.
Oh, fair enough.
I was scranning down, so I was trying to spay the sounds of me.
Enjoying
eating crisps.
your meal.
Yeah, I've got some sausage roll variant, like a ploughman's roll, and a bag of crisps, and it's doing me all right. So yeah, I'm doing pretty well, buddy. I'm all right. Can't complain. I've just gone to Antwerp for a few days on business, and like the guy I went over there and I spent a day with. The day after he got us like a stomach bug, which he caught from his daughter. He's got like a less than a year-old daughter, and the next day I took a whole load of flack because he got sick, and we'd had a meal together, and then he'd got sick and he didn't come in the next day. So I took an awful lot of flack, people saying I'd poisoned him, and then I eventually started playing up to it. And because it just went on for a bit, so I just like, yeah, you're not going to see him anymore, Gotta take care of the and that sort of thing. I just like, well, rather than like take offense, I just started playing up to it, and then later on that evening, went out for a meal, and after, and I just started to get sick myself. So he'd given me the stomach bug. I had to like flee off down to the fucking bogs downstairs and spew up. And I came back and I said, I'm gonna have to go. I've got I've got this stomach bug, and I was kind of ready to carry on. You know what I mean? I was having a good time, and I had to go. Because there's no way I can stay and carry on eating and drinking. It's like, and then maybe even pass it around further to my colleagues. You know what I mean? It's like I may have already passed it to them.
We might have, but
I won't know. So we'll see.
So
yeah, it was like a rare, and then I had to try and get home, and try not to fucking shit myself, It's been a rare few old days, really.
Oh wow, sounds exciting.
Oh well, yeah. Well, it's kind of exciting, but not in a good way. Just getting like a stomach bug in a fucking. Because it's kind of ironic. It's like you can't go and do any traveling because of COVID, and then okay, COVID's gone, so now I just catch a regular fucking stomach flu instead.
Just been messing about on the river, building jetties.
Yeah, I'm pretty envious, man. It looks pretty.
It's
pretty
lovely.
sharp.
It's the best. The best, man. You can even balance the beer at the bottom of the boat and it don't fall over while you're canoeing up and down the river. It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's life on the bayou, man.
Yeah, honestly. I was camping this morning. I went out at 6. Sorry, Alan, I just have to say this. I went out at 6.
Whereabouts is it, man?
It's in Scotford on the river O or Low or U. It's French for water if you look at the spelling, but on that river which goes through Scotter, and they've shut the floodgates of the water's really high at the moment, and you can just I was floating on the water this morning about 6 while the birds are out and chirping and making lots of noises and trying not to make too much movement in the boat because it's just ace. It's just ace just floating down there. Anyway, that's it. Loving bayou life.
Cool.
I'm going to have to start calling you old Gumbo.
No, fire.
All right, so you enter Charnel House 17, following behind Captain Catian Nils, and you walk into a scene of utter carnage. The walls are splattered with blood and visceral fluids. The ground is littered with tangled limbs of mutilated bodies. It's the aftermath of a terrible and brutal melee. And at the centre of the carnage, a single body stands out. On the top of the pile of bodies, facing upwards, with an odd pendant visible around his neck, this man lies there, torn and bloody. There's around a dozen sanctuaries here, in their red and black armour, shotguns held ready, and they all look visibly unsettled. And you can hear them whispering. You hear a couple of them mention things about unnatural powers at work that caused the dead to attack the living. And they glance suspiciously at some of the corpses and then at you as you enter. It's a very strange scene, this. It's little more than a warehouse with racks and racks of shelving. And on each of the shelves around this place, there are just piles and piles and piles of grey corpses in various states of decomposition. But they seem to be smeared with some sort of paste. But the bodies that are on the floor and the bodies that are in this pile don't look like they've been dead that long. They're not decomposed. They're not covered in this paste. These people are definitely recently dead. And Oath Captain Nils points at the body on top of the pile and says, "That one. That's the one with the pendant that Claymont touched."
Oh, I'll go over and examine the body.
I'm a special investigator.
You doing what? Sorry, Gaius.
I'm going over and looking at the body.
Okay.
See what man can see.
You mean
So
you're investigating?
I'm investigating the body.
Are you looking at the body from the ground, or do you want to scrabble up onto this pile of bodies? It's not like really high, but there's maybe 7 or 8 bodies all piled together with this one at the top.
I would like to use my mace to grab his footwear and pull him down, and then look at him on the floor.
Yeah, sure. So you can drag him down, absolutely no problem. Make an investigation check.
Okay. Do I have investigation?
Not investigation, is it? I'm playing the wrong fucking game. I'm thinking of D&D. Nope.
Awareness?
Inquiry is not what I'm thinking of. Yeah, make an awareness check, please.
No. I've disturbed it too much.
All right. So the body of this man, he looks to be maybe in his late 20s, early 30s. The one thing that you notice about a lot of the corpses here, the ones on the shelves, not just the ones on the floor, is that a lot of them are quite thin. It doesn't look like they're very well fed. But this particular body looks like he's a little bit from a more well-to-do background. And I'm not talking nobility, but he looks like he's got a bit more meat on his bones. His clothing is slightly less tattered than the others. But other than that, it doesn't really seem like there's anything particularly interesting about him. He's got sort of shoulder-length dark hair that is currently very straggly and smeared and, matted with blood. You don't see much else about him. Apart from, obviously, this pendant that's round his neck.
Can I pick the pendant
I'm going to
up?
say, hold on.
Oh, look, Gaius, wait, hang on a minute. Gaius, wait a minute. Have you got any more of those sandwiches?
Well played, Al.
I do feel like this is a ploughman's moment.
But I want them.
I was going to take out ploughman's.
Can I have could I have a look around as well, see if I see anything?
You can make an awareness check. Otto, I would like you to make a willpower check, please, at minus 10.
To avoid... One second.
I failed my test.
Yeah, you're looking at the bodies. There's not really much you notice about them. There are a few weapons lying around on the floor. Primitive bladed weapons. A few pistols.
I'm going to use a fate point on that one.
Okay. Yeah, primitive bladed weapons. A few pistols, not particularly high tech. Mainly stub, auto pistols, things like that. Just a second.
You got the box, guys.
Yeah, I've got the box. Got box
Easy,
right on
man,
me right here.
I don't want to touch it. It looks.
I'm gonna pick up, but I'm gonna pick it up with a knife.
Okay, so you pick this thing up with your knife. It's on a chain around his neck. Oath Captain Nils comes close to you as you pick this up with your knife. He says, "Yeah, that's the thing." Claimant said, "Pick that up," and it felt, like there was tiny spikes on it, and it just didn't feel right. And then, well, he hasn't been feeling very well ever since.
Well, we'll put this under proper investigation.
Otto, the idea of eating a sandwich right now amongst this carnage is a no-go. You just do not feel it. There's blood and body parts everywhere. And although you've seen violence, this is like a new level of carnage.
Yeah. He'll look at the sandwich and then be like, perhaps not, and then pop it back into his pack box.
You don't want that, Otto.
Can he?
Not just at this minute, mate. I will require it later.
Annie, you look around at this pile of bodies. The carnage, the blood, the torn meat. Just makes you peckish. So you've hooked this pendant with your knife, got it off the guy's head. What are you doing with it?
We got a special box. We all sort of like, all that. What are you laughing at?
I've got a doggy bag.
Will that work?
Yeah.
You there, Gaius?
Yeah.
What are you doing with this pendant? You've got it. You've hooked it with a knife.
I'm going to put it straight in the box.
Okay, put it straight in the box. Give me another awareness test as you put it in the box.
Okay, give me a second to squint. No, I don't see nothing.
All right. You would have got a plus 20 to that. Sorry, would that have changed anything?
No.
No, it wouldn't, would it? Okay. All right. So you put it into the box, close the box, and immediately this strange, slightly unnerving, nauseous feeling disappears, and you see the sanctuaries all, fucking hell, they start to look visibly relieved.
Oh dear.
You want to speak to that one who touched it? This fellow special investigator.
Yeah, I reckon that's right. Do you want to lead the way, mate?
Yeah, where is he?
Sanctuary Claymet's this way, says Nils, and she leads you over to the far corner of the room, and there, sat on a small bench, is a sanctuary who he looks a little pale, a little queasy. He don't look too good. And there's another man stood next to him who's cradling a shotgun. Who looks a little? He looks a little on edge. The guy next to him. And Oath Captain Nils leads you to these two people and indicates the man and sat down and says, "This is Sanctuary Claymet. He's the one who touched it. This is his partner, Sanctuary Tellian."
Yeah, we're going to have our doctor, Dr. Gashmark. He's going to have he's going to have a look at you, see if you're all right. Maybe take some samples.
Don't worry, don't worry, Kenny. Call me Blotto. Don't worry, call me Blotto.
Yeah, titles aren't necessary. I'm the doctor. Yeah, he's going to look you over, see you run his scans, and he's a very competent doctor.
I thank you. I thank you for your appraisal. I shall just do my work, the Emperor's work, and I'm just going to basically do some look at him. I don't really know what's up with him.
All right. Okay.
I'll be like, there.
There.
I think that's all. Best I can muster at the moment.
Okay. So, do you want to? You've got Medicaid on Otto, haven't you? I think.
I believe I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Medicaid,
Give me a Medicaid test.
Oh, no, 22. Oh my god, he's so good at this. Okay, 22. Nostrils. Oh,
22. That's not very good.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah, he's got he's got a Medicaid as a basic skill due to his shared experience where Vernetta and Otto's minds briefly merged.
Yeah.
And he says,
What do you reckon, Doctor?
Otto's not sure.
The pressure.
There's nothing obviously wrong with this man other than he just looks unwell. You check his pulse, his breathing seems to be okay. If anything, you'd say he was suffering from shock.
Yeah, he looks pretty shocked to me, Doctor.
I believe he's suffering from shock. Maybe a blindfold so he doesn't see all of this madness might help assist that. So I'm going to. If anybody could pass me a blindfold or a bandage.
Well, if it's all the same to you,
it's only temporary.
If it's all the same to you, and there's nothing obviously wrong with the man, I'd like to get him away, have him rest and get checked over. The remainder of my squad can remain here with myself, but claim it.
Fuck off.
I believe.
Oh yeah, the rest of you. Go on, yeah, you fuck off. We'll sort it out.
I don't know. I think we should keep him with us. He needs people around him. I don't think you should ship him off because in case anything happens in the interim, I'd like to continue to observe him. That is my professional opinion.
Very well, but can I request that Claymet is allowed to wait outside, perhaps with a couple of my other men, to keep an eye on him?
No, I'd rather keep him here with us.
Very well. And you see, Claymet looks a little troubled by this, but he accepts it, and he says, "As you say, Captain." And his partner, Tellin, stands nearby, just watching this whole exchange.
Let's proceed. Over to you. What are your orders, Commander?
I think we've maybe lost Arbite Gaius Mortalis.
No, I'm here.
No, he's still here. Okay.
Yeah, I was listening.
We could always leave it there, buddy.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it here, to be honest.
I am.
It's 10 past 10. That's fine.